Hello, good morning and welcome to Sewing Street on a Sunday. My name's Debbie. I'm going to be with you for the next 4 hours. We've got a brand new guest coming up in the next hour. It's Clive, and she's going to make a men's shirt. So it's something a little bit different, and he's a very charming gentleman, I have to say. I'm looking forward to introducing you to him. But that's at 9 o'clock. This hour, it's kind of a last chance hour. So we'll put together lots of things for you, some great deals, but a lot of them you're not going to see again. So that's coming up in a bit. Oh, just to let you know, we're not on Facebook Live at the moment. Facebook and YouTube have had an argument that fell out. So we can't be on Facebook and YouTube at the same time, but I am on the community page. So if you want to come and say hello, good morning, then you can still leave messages. So that's where I'm going to be. And that's not the fans page, it's the Sewing Street TV page, which I need to keep refreshing to see who's here in the morning, and it's a little bit slow, I have to say, so I do apologise. If you want to send us an email, then you can do as well. That's studio@sewingstreet.com. So it'd be nice to hear from you there as well. No, I've lost you completely. This happened last week, didn't it? So I just don't think I'm very good at this. I'm on Facebook, so I will do it in a minute. So come and say hello. What are you up to today? What have you been sewing? What did you do for Halloween last night, seeing as nobody's trick-or-treating? Did you, I don't know, were you hiding things around the house instead of going knocking on strangers' doors? That's another issue. And what have you got planned for the rest of the week? Looks like we're going to be all locked down again by the end of the week. So about time we got our sewing requisites in early, so that's going to keep us busy. And of course, because you have joined us early on a Sunday morning, as usual at 8 o'clock, we've got a special offer for you. A reduced priced item, our early bird. I don't know where it is. Can you spot an early bird anywhere? We've got a mug. That's our early bird. This is a great Christmas present. It all comes boxed and everything. Great Christmas present, isn't it, for anybody who sews? So I'll see if it works. And actually, it works really well. I should probably get through about 4 coffees going cold this morning. That's the plan. But it's a nice big mug as well. So it's got tape measure around the handle, and then you've got your sewing machines and notions and pin cushions and needle and thread. There's a thimble in your pin cushion. What are they called? Safety pins. Honestly, Sunday morning. And then we've got buttons and little embroidery scissors there as well. And that is only £7.99. So how about treating yourself? And then how about treating somebody you know who sews for Christmas as well? And again, that's how it's going to come. So easy to package, and it looks expensive, doesn't it? It's not. It's only £7.99. I think I'd pay a little bit more than that, honestly. Oh, and lots of you are buying multiples as well. So good for you, because you're only going to pay 1 postage, and in fact, I'm still trying to find you. You only pay 1 postage for the whole of the rest of the day. So that's £3.95. I'm looking at a completely different Facebook page here. I don't know what on earth I've done there. Facebook. And then got I haven't even got a middle button. Public post, fan page, Facebook. Try public post. Bear with me. It was all up and running before I tried to refresh it just before the show, and it's just don't know what I've done. Oh, there we go. Right, so I'm on community, and oh, we had morning Morak. Back to work Tuesday. She had 14 days off. Well done. Yes, I've got you now, so you can come and say hello. I just need to figure out how to refresh you without losing you. We've had a message off Sue as well. She says, "Hi Debbie, always looking forward to the shows." Well, thank you very much. Normally here on a Sunday morning. And we've had some messages through the website already this morning as well. So who's that then? Oh, hi Teddy, how are you? Oh, now so far, watching while having breakfast. Now then, we've had, if you're new to us on a Sunday morning on Sewing Street, I have to give you a little bit of a warning. We have so many viewers in bed, and I think a lot of them are naked. So just to let you know that that's the kind of people that we're talking to this morning. So yeah, if you're watching in bed and having your breakfast, careful where the crumbs go. Or if you're up bright and early, remember no housework this morning. Not until 1 o'clock. You're not allowed to this morning. That's the rules that we set here. Um, so anyway, if you want to order this, you have a one payment for postage of £3.95. And when I said that lasts all day, that means that if you're only going to buy your mug and you pay your £7.99 now plus your £3.95 postage, and then you come back later and you think, actually, I want that men's shirt pattern that Clive's brought at 11 o'clock, or I want that ladies' dress pattern that's coming up at 11 o'clock, we won't charge you any extra postage. And that's all the way through until midnight tonight. Nice size, isn't it? This is a nice kind of hot chocolate mug. A hot chocolate mug with marshmallows on top, or maybe a little bit of cinnamon. It's one of those kind of cosy, comforting kind of mugs, isn't it? Mm. So, now we have a Cat producing today, and we have Paul directing, and Cat just says you could use it just to keep pens in your craft room. That's now you'd need two, because you'd need a cupper as well, wouldn't you? But I think that's a great idea. One for your pens, one for your rotary cutters, because it's a nice solid cup as well, so it's not going to tip over. But isn't that fabulous? And again, it's boxed. Half of the stock of the early bird has sold out. Could be like our Sewing Street Club mug, couldn't it? So I might hang on to this one, because I always like a cupper on a Sunday morning. So we could all have our cuppers together. I want pictures of you having a cupper on us, and not those of you in bed. I don't want, I don't want those pictures. Thank you very much. But yeah, that's a whole other channel, isn't it? So save that for Yarn Street or Yarn Avenue, Yarn Lane, whatever we're calling it. Anyway, we've got lots to show you on the show this morning, so I think your early bird is going to sell out, so if you're going to order that, I would be quick. You don't refresh. Oh, Carol nearly slept in this morning. What you like, Carol? I'm glad you're up now. Oh, morning, Carol. Right, now then, I need to stand up for this one. Oh, we have so I'm getting all ahead of myself. I'm standing up for the menu, because it's a very important menu. This is what's coming up this morning on Sewing Street. So in this hour, miss it or miss out. That's exactly what some people are going to be doing with the early bird. But we've got lots of fabric deals for you as well. Get ahead of the game and take a look on the website. We have a Clive Bruder coming up in the next hour. And here he is modelling the shirt that he's going to show you how to make. We're going to concentrate on collars and cuffs. We won't have time to make up the complete shirt in an hour. We have November's flower of the month at 10 o'clock this morning. It's a chrysanthemum. But I've got some news for you as well, because we are on advanced orders at the moment for that one. I shall explain later on. But that's at 10 o'clock, so if you're a collector, do tune in then. And then at 11 o'clock, Clive's going to be back with Stretch Pull-On Mrs. Dress, and that's the dress. So it's a really comfy, loose fit, flattering shape. You know, no matter what issues you have with your body, you never have a fat neck day, do you? So it's a nice area of your body to show off that one. And then we have Saturday stash bundles as a repeat at 12 o'clock noon today. So the real reason I was standing up is because we have this. Which is a huge, the quality is sateen, so it's got a lovely softness but a sheen to it as well. It is 100% cotton, it's not satin, but it feels like that. But just look at this panel. Are you ready? Oh, it's massive. It's 78 inches by 98 inches. So we have a huge panel. Are you ready for this? I can't show you it all, can I? It's just too big. Well, looking over the top, look, you can barely see it. With this panel, you will be able to make. I haven't even got something I can stand on, have I? Well, we can show you a photo while I try and. There you go. You can make the top of a duvet cover. You can make 2 large cushions, 1 small cushion, and then there's a little bit left over that you can make maybe an even smaller cushion, or a wall hanging, or a doll quilt, or something like that. Still trying to open this up. Is that a little bit better? And you know, if you're sleeping under this, I know you're going to put a backing fabric on it. It's so cool and comfortable. So that's kind of the centre panel, and you can see we've got the tiger there right in the middle. We've got a crane, there's butterflies, it's quite oriental. And then at the side, these are the sections that you can make your cushions out of. And look at the size of them, that's a massive cushion. But you can do wall hangings with those instead. There's a butterfly in the centre, which is the smaller panel. And then as you come down, there's another one with a crane. And the butterfly here, oops, is so big. There's a butterfly here, which is your extra little panel that you can make something else with there. Wow, look at the size of this. Oh, that's better, isn't it? Oh, so that's what you're going to get. But you can see again how big that is actually going to be. So that's a double size, isn't it? That'll be a double duvet cover. Massive. And again, you're going to need some backing fabric for it, and of course your duvet. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the tiger. Oh, that's quite good, isn't it? There you go. Massive. I don't know how I'm going to fold this back up again. But it is Miss It, Miss Out today. So it'll come to you like this. All nice and neatly folded up with a bow around it and cardboard inside to keep it shaped. And you've got your full instructions there as well, and there's a picture of what's actually in there. That's huge. That would have been a better way to show. No, you don't get an idea of size when it's like that, do you? And it's important to see how big this actually is. It is massive. There we go. So, wasn't expecting it to be quite that big, to be honest. But while I'm standing up and we have large things in the show, we've got a massive Moda bundle for you as well. I'll go through this at about past. But if you want to, again, get ahead of the game, then have a look on the website. Oh, it's going on pre-order right now. Look at all of that. It's 14.5 metres of fabric altogether there. You get the lot. It's an amazing bundle. So again, have a look on sewingstreet.com. And that's all Moda. All Moda fabric. I've lost you again. This is ridiculous, isn't it? I do like to have a chat on a Sunday morning, so it's a bit... Let's go back to public posts. So, because there must be more than Carol and Morag watching this morning. Oh, Glynis. Hi, Glynis. Debbie and the team just awake and looking forward to the show. Lovely. Are you up yet, Glynis? Are you in bed this morning? There we go. Oh, we've had a message on YouTube from Dawn. Hi, Dawn. She says, morning. Oh, she's just back from a wet dog walk. Oh, she got a cuppa in hand, lovely. And she loves the mugs. Is that the early bird or the Sewing Street team? And look, it does actually work. I have actual coffee in there and everything, look. Well, you have to test things and make sure they work okay, don't you? It wasn't fake like film extra coffee. Right, now then, miss it, miss out. I could stand up again, couldn't I? A lot of these items we have low stocks of, and they're not going to be back again. So let's have a look first of all at the fabric strips, the design roll. So these are 2.5-inch wide strips, and I think there's 44 of those altogether. And these are from the Tula Pink homemade range. That is such a good prize. Now they are kind of back in stock, but they probably won't be back in stock again. So it gives you an idea of all of the different colours that you have there. I'm sure there's 44 in there, might be 42. Oh, well, there's 40. So I was kind of close. But fabric strips like this are always very popular. Even if you're just going to, maybe it's a jelly roll race you're doing, or you wanted to cut them up into different shapes, into diamonds and hexagons and things like that. And when you buy pre-cut fabrics like this and they're packaged like this, that all of the colours go together really, really well, or the prints, or the designs, or the range. And with strips like this, if you, in one of my local fabric shops, they'll charge you for anything over 10 centimetres of fabric. Can you imagine? There's 40 bolts of fabric there. I'll have 10 centimetres of each of those. A lot of places you just can't do that. So it's nice to have them all pre-cut and pre-packaged like this. So these are just some of the prints. Aren't they pretty? They're kind of bold and fun, and what Tudor pink is famed for. Some are delicate prints, some are a little bit more kind of blending. But they're just bright, and we've got little scissors and rotary cutters and things like that. And I've got to stand up again now, I don't know. Standing up on a Sunday morning, this could be the kind of thing that, here we go again, that you could make. And that's really simple, because all you're doing is sewing the strips together. So no particular skill involved, apart from, well, no particular skill really. If you're going to sew in a straight line, then this is something that you could easily make. It's pretty, isn't it? It's uplifting and it's vibrant and it's fun. And they're, they're bright, but they don't fight with each other. I think it's because they're the same tones. And I love the designs. They've got little safety pins and buttons and all kinds of stuff, scissors, rotary cutters, and apparently these are Tudor Pink's actual notions. See, if I did a fabric with my notions on, they'd be a little worn out. My ruler's the worst one. It's just covered in glue. I do need to get a new ruler. But there you go. So that is your Tudor Pink fabric strip roll. Fold that in a minute. Oh, hi again, Teddy. Teddy's left a message at the bottom of the screen. Admiring my dedication in testing the mug. Well, I do like to put things to the test. And in fact, I will this morning be making sure that this is capable of more than just one coffee. I think that's my duty as a presenter here on Sewing Street. I don't want to sell you something that doesn't work when you get it home. So no holes in it, doesn't leak, does the job perfectly well. What it doesn't do is stay in stock for very long, so I think your early bird's going to sell out. Thalassophile. Now this is these are 10-inch squares of fabric. So again, you've got the pre-cuts, which means that they're all going to match again, and they are quite a varied style of, because we've got the one that looks like ticking, and then we're going down to the bottom of the ocean. Love the colours on these as well. So, I mean, even if you just sew these together as squares, that would make quite a size, wouldn't it? If you're thinking quilting or wall hanging, lap quilts maybe. I think they're big enough to make masts out of, So if you did one of those mast styles that's pleated, you could probably get, how many have we got in the packet here? 42. You could probably make 42 masts out of these. And who else would have a thalassophile mask? And of course loose nylon fabric as well, so you've got some really lovely quality as well. You try and say thalassophile through your mask, you might have to give it a wash. So again, £29.99 for those, and you have 40 10-inch squares, all 100% cotton and all nice quality as well. Oh, hi Alison, morning, how are you? She says, don't forget the cakes in the fridge. I've heard about your cakes in the fridge, Alison, but I haven't tasted one. I could have had one with my coffee, couldn't I, this morning? Oh. Apparently Kat's on her third at the moment, so there might not be any left for me anyway. Got anybody else on Facebook this morning? Oh, morning, Ruth. Wet and windy in Durham. Looking forward to seeing all of the fabric. Thank you very much. Glenys is in bed still. I don't know. Missed the mugs, my own fault. Have we sold out of them then? I think we've... Oh, they've gone. Sorry. They have sold out now. Oh, not to worry, tried to warn you. Right. We have fabrics by the half metre, and these are all miss and miss out. So coming to this, it's like having a bit of a last chance, an end of line show, this one. Shall we start here? So by the half metre, I can't guarantee how many half metres we have available for you, but if you wanted to order a metre, just put 2 units in when you place your order and you'll be sent them in one continuous length. So this is £4.99. They're all 112 centimetres wide and all 100% cotton. And again, a lot of these you're not going to see again. Love the colours of this one. I think it's really clean and fresh. And I'm thinking blouses, little girls' dresses, and of course it's a quilting weight cotton, so it's perfect if you are doing a little bit of quilting as well. And if you are, you're going to need something to go with it, aren't you? So I think all seasons for this one. Just because it's autumn and it's wet and miserable outside doesn't mean you can't wear something fresh and pretty. And again at £4.99. I'll open one to show you the width. So this is per half metre, but again it does come joined up if you order more than one, and that's 112 centimetres wide. Oh, so many of you messaging saying you missed out on the early bird. Sorry, we need to get more mugs in, don't we? All right, well, let me fold this one back up. And then I shan't open the others. Right, so that's blue flowers. We've got swallows. A couple of colours of these. This is swallows on royal blue. Non-directional print again, so perfect if you are quilting. You can really make the most of your fabric. That would make a nice shirt, actually, wouldn't it? The men's shirt that we've got coming up in the next hour. I think that would be really nice, quite striking. And again, it's £4.99 for half a metre. We also have it in grey. I like grey. I think grey is a really classy, sophisticated colour, and it's nice to see a fun print, isn't it, in grey. So if the blue is a little bit too bold for you, then that'd be a nice one to go for, I think. Maybe with a white collar and white cuffs, so you can coordinate it a little bit. Or if you're just going to use it as a pocket, so that'd be quite sweet. And boys' clothing too. Maybe a pair of shorts. A bit cold for a pair of shorts, isn't it? We have gold and orange roses on Copen. This is now that's only £3.99. That's good value. And although it's a cotton poplin, it's a good weight for cotton poplin. A poplin just a little bit lighter in weight than quilting cotton if you want to wear it. It's got a tighter weave and the fibres that are used are a little bit finer. So it normally has a little bit more of a drape. Not as drapey as a viscose would be, but perfect for dressmaking. So again, if you're thinking little girls' dresses or blouses or I wonder if you know that's a stretch fabric, isn't it, on the dress? I don't see why you couldn't make the dress out of fabric like this, because there's no zips or anything. It doesn't have to be a stretch fabric. I don't think. I should check with Clive at 11 o'clock. So again, £3.99 per half a metre. Very limited stock on that one, so don't miss out on that one. We've got sheep. A flock of sheep on pink. What are you going to make with that one? Oh, if you're making things for somebody who knits, then that would make a really nice knitting bag, wouldn't it? Or a backpack, or if you're decorating a little girl's bedroom, maybe you could have curtains and then bunting and storage cubes and cushion covers and even toys. What about a toy sheep? A toy sheep out of sheep fabric. And again, that's only £3.99 for half a metre. All on pre-order at the moment. So when you go to the website, they'll be at the side of the video, I think. £3.99. That'd make a pretty dress, wouldn't it? Talking about dresses a lot, I was making some dresses for my granddaughters last week. About time I did, and I haven't got round to doing anything like that for a long time. So every fabric I'm thinking of now, I could do little puff sleeves out of that one, put a frill around the bottom, that'd be nice. Bit of broderie on clothes. That would look nice around the hemline and around those little puff sleeves that are elasticated on the cuffs. Be really pretty, wouldn't it? Or just a border across the, like the princess line would be nice, wouldn't it? Sorry, the empire line. That would make a nice pretty dress. Oh, I like this tulip. Tulips, one of my favourite flowers. Yellow tulips. This isn't yellow tulips, but it is tulips. They don't last very long, do they? There we go. But I just think they're a very, very elegant flowers. And again, that's £4.99. I think that's a really pretty fabric. Very pale pink in the background and just delicate posies or little bunches of flowers. I've got daisies and tulips on that one. That'd make a nice little girl's dress, wouldn't it? Oh, this would make a nice little girl's dress. This is pretty again. We've got like an aquary colour in the background. It's just a very simple white print. And that's again only £4.99. I think you have to look closely, don't you, to see the flowers. But there's a lot of detail on this one. I've got tiny little flowers and the leaves and everything, but just in the two colours, which I think is quite unusual, isn't it? And really lovely quality as well for your £4.99. But you see the detail on that? Tiny, tiny little flowers. That is so pretty. And again, it's by the half metre, so if you wanted to order more than one, so if you're thinking larger projects, maybe a blouse for yourself, then... Oh, Angie, we wondered where you were. We were talking about you earlier. So where's Angie? Where's Angie? She's probably in bed still. 15 minutes late, I don't know. Jane sent a message in as well. Hi, Jane. She says, morning, Debbie and the team. Been up since 4. Been up, so what's she been doing since 4? Oh, she's been waiting for me to come on the telly since 4 o'clock and then miss the early bird. Pauline's here as well with us. Morning, Pauline. She says, oh, she's missed out on the burley aid as well. So she's going to, she's controlling herself. Oh, consoling yourself. Don't control yourself with fabric, but you can console yourself with fabric. That's allowed on a Sunday morning. It's building up a collection. We're not stash building anymore. I'm not having the word said. We are collectors of fabric. So you're allowed to buy as much as you like, really. This is £3.99. This is Puppy Party. It's cute, isn't it? Alison Marion did the cat and dog pattern yesterday, didn't she? You've got the dog over there. That would make a nice lining for the bag, wouldn't it? And the colours go really well too. Oh, there you go. Oh, we're going retro 1960s now. I'm in a discotheque when I look at this. Double dots. This is Lewis and Irene fabric. It's £5.99 again for half a metre. So I look at this and I'm thinking maybe covering a stool or a cushion for a chair I think would look really nice, or a chair seat even. Might need to put some interfacing behind it if you're going to be stretching it around a frame. But I think that would be actually unexpected. So if you've got a really classical style of dining chair or a little stool or something, then you put some mad fabric over the top, it kind of works, doesn't it? Or the foot poofs. That's a good word, a poof. Or a beanbag. You can make a little beanbag, couldn't you? If you had panels on them, that would be quite an easy make. Glenys is late again this morning. Glenys and Angie, I don't know. So she's normally up and around, she said. She's going to church later with her son Jason. Lovely. Oh, Dawn's messaged in as well. Not done a lot of sewing this week, but she's sorted out all of the fabric and cleaned the machine. Oh, good, that's productive. And she's got space for more fabric. That's brilliant, isn't it? Well, we're coming up to winter time, you see. So it is insulation in your home. So I can't guarantee that you can turn the thermostat down a little bit, but you never know. Right, we've got hearts. This is lovely because it's foiled. So the silver hearts on the navy fabric have got a little bit of foiling. So Christmas one, I wouldn't say it was Christmas. I would say it was wintry and icy, and it's those kind of colours. But yeah, I wouldn't call this one a Christmas one at all. But who am I to name fabric? And again, just £4.99 for your half a metre. Do you know what this would be nice for is gift wrap, if you're going to be using fabric to wrap your gifts this year instead of paper. That would make really nice little gift bags, or just gift wrap as it is, wouldn't it? Oh, wine bottle bags with silver ribbon, drawstring bags, envelope style of bags if you've got something that's a little bit slimmer. And wouldn't it, oh, you'd be so posh, wouldn't you, if you had all of your presents underneath the tree, all in coordinating fabric. And then you can use it next year as well. So this is something that I could wrap up presents for my granddaughters in. Because what child doesn't like dinosaurs? They all go through a dinosaur phase, don't they? So we have, no. Is it a pterodactyl or is it a pteranodon? I was corrected. My eldest lad was, as they all are, into dinosaurs when he was about 9 or 10 years old, and we took him to the Natural History Museum as a special treat. So you walked through the door at the time, I don't know if it's still there, and there was a huge brontosaurus. And I said, David, look at that huge brontosaurus. And he said, that's a diplodocus. And then there was a pterodactyl, and I said, no, he wasn't calling me a diplodocus, but I did feel like one. And then there was a pterodactyl. Oh, Mum, that's not a pterodactyl, it's a pteranodon. And then there was something else with 5 horns. I can't remember what the name of it was, but this is how that translates as a 5-horned beast. I got the Stegosaurus right, though. And of course there's the T-Rex, Tyrannosaurus Rex. I think that might have been the 5-horned beast one. I can't remember what its name was. So, but I'm not going there with the names because I've probably got some 2-year-old at home right now correcting me as I'm speaking. But nice colours on that as well. They're quite soft and subtle, and it's almost got like a camouflage feel to it, hasn't it? So you can wrap the kids' presents up in that one. Oh, Anne in South Wales. Oh, okay, she wants to know if there's a code for the 1P&P packaging. No, we just combine your orders. So when you place your first order, you'll pay you £3.95 postage, and then we just keep an eye on what you're shopping at throughout the day. And when we combine all of your orders, which will be just before midnight tonight, we will only charge 1 postage for you. So don't worry about codes or anything like that. It just automatically happens. You're only going to pay £3.95 all day long. And another Anne. Hello, other Anne. She says, morning, Debbie and team. Morning, team. Oh, she says she's always wanted to, but never bothered to message in, so it's the first time she's messaged it. Hello. Welcome to Sewing Street this morning. Message in as often as you like. This could be the start of a beautiful conversation between us, as often as you like. Carol's messaged in. Carol messages a lot. Collectors of fabric. Debbie, I must have about 8,000 metres of fabric, and then at some point I have to start using it instead of collecting it. Where do you keep 8,000 metres of fabric? And 8,000 metres, I mean, is it, have you got them by the bolt? Oh, I've lost you again now. Oh, no, I haven't. I've got you back again. Oh, anyway. Shooting stars on pink. Pretty, isn't it? Tiny, tiny little stars. You look at I think it's the colours on this. I think there should be a unicorn on there somewhere. It looks like unicorn fabric. Bubblegum colours, Paul says. Or a pyjama bag would be nice, wouldn't it? Or a laundry bag to hang on the back of the kids' doors. And you can make a magic teddy bear. And the nice thing with small prints like this, you can make smaller items without losing the design. That's only £3.99 for half a metre. Oh, and very limited. Oh, it goes really well with that. Very limited on stock with that one. So again, be quick if that's the one you want. We've got sheep on blue. You saw the pink earlier on. So that's the sheep on pink. This is the sheep on blue. And isn't that a happy bright turquoise blue? Again, that's only £3.99. I'm still thinking knitting bags with that. That would be a nice present for somebody who knits, methinks. And again, £3.99 is your price there. Oh, and they do come in one continuous piece if you ordered more than one unit. So all of the fabrics are cut specifically for you. Going cold. Is it half past? Oh, it's gone half past, isn't it? We did say the Mega Moda bundle we were going to feature at half past, but I got too busy chatting to you. So stop talking a bit, will you? Honestly, you lot. This is the Mega Bundle. Shall we go and have a look at it? Kat lost her phone earlier on. I think we found your phone, Kat. I'll pop it on the table there. I'll put my coffee down there as well, just so I don't spill it on this amazing I'll pop that down there as well. It's all of this, look, 14.5 metres of fabric in total. And a lot of these you're not going to see again, so it really could be your last chance to get hold of these gorgeous Moda fabrics. Imagine the quilting you can do with this lot. Now, these are all pre-cut, so if you ordered more than one, you will get them pre-cut like this. I'm just going to open this one up to show you. Look how gorgeous these are. Look at that. So that is just one of the pieces. So these are all half-metre pieces. You've got loads of them. So we're getting some from the Canning Day range, the Lancaster range, the Regency Romance range, Les Beaux Papillons, from Three Sisters, and May Morris, and I think this is the May Morris one that I'm holding there now, for £216.99. We can give you split pay on these. Anything that you order over £149, we can split the cost into 3. So if you really want to get your mitts on this one, it's £72 today and 33p. And we'll send this to you straight away. So if you're using anything with split pay, you don't have to wait until your final payment. We'll get this out to you straight away. But on the colour palettes, they just, considering you've got different ranges here as well, they do go together so well. If you've already got some of the fabrics and you wanted to add to the collection, or you've got some from the collection missing, then this is an ideal time to buy. That's one of my favourite ones. I love that colour. It's a very expensive looking colour, and again, different ranges, but all in the bundle. The colours go really well together. These are nice as well. I love that colour palette. Now that is quite autumn wintry, isn't it? And don't have to use them all together. It's a collection building hour. And if you don't have a collection at all at the moment, how about starting your collection with 14.5 metres of really high quality Moda fabric? It's amazing, isn't it? What an incredible deal. And all of these you're going to get. Right, now we're very limited on stock. This could be another one to sell out quite soon. So again, if you wanted to order, don't have to split those payments if you don't want to, but £72.33 is all you need to pay today. That makes it a little bit more affordable to stretch those payments over 3 months. So that's a great way of buying. No interest charged or anything on that one. So, and these are the kind of things that don't date. And the nice thing about fabric, it doesn't go up, well, I suppose it would go off eventually, but maybe a few hundred years. But it's nice to invest in quality, isn't it? You know that you're going to reach into your collection and you're going to have just the most amazing fabric to choose from. So I think the quilter is going to be very interested in these. Or the bag, we'll take the stickers off before you get yours. But if you're bag making, if you're making things to sell, then what a lovely colour. Can you imagine? You could have 29 pieces altogether, is that? So you could have 29 bags that you could then sell Oh, you'd get your money back really quickly on those, wouldn't you? Wow. But you know, if you could go into Moda's archives and pick out your favourite 29 patterns, there's probably 28 of those 29 here right in front of you. And there is, I think there's something for everyone. So there's, you know, the dark, rich colours. There's fun floral fabrics. You've got classic stripes there with the stars on it. You've got some very heavily dense patterns. You've got some more lightly patterned. There's lots of floral. I love the floral script one as well. I like this when we first brought it to you. And again, so elegant, so detailed, and the print is amazingly fine, and that's a sign of good quality fabric. When you look at the scroll work or the script work in the background, it's incredibly fine print. No, that's what you pay for. It's the quality, not just the quality of the fabric, but the quality of the print as well. So again, if you wanted to order, you can order on the website on sewingstreet.com or on 0800 001 4433. Lots of you got this in their baskets, so I don't think it's going to last too long. 3 split payments of £72.33, so all you need to pay today is that plus your postage, and the second and third payments will be taken off your debit or credit card on this day in December. It's November, isn't it? It's my sister's birthday today. Happy birthday, sis. I don't think she'll be watching, probably won't be up yet. Oh, she'll be up, she'll be walking the dogs now. So yeah, so on the 1st of December, and then your third payment will be taken out probably on the 2nd of January. I don't think it'll come out on a bank holiday, but yeah. So nice way to split the cost without paying any interest. A lot of these may not be available again though, so it's a great way to invest in an awful lot of Moda fabric at a great price as well. And I love the colours. I'm just thinking what I'm going to make. I think bags would be very nice, or a little quilt, a lap quilt maybe. Yeah, but this will be with you in time to start making things for Christmas as well. You'll still have a couple of months. Well, is it 6 weeks? By the time you get it home, you probably have 6 weeks to make up some Christmas presents. Now, these would make very nice gift bags, wouldn't they? Oh, if you have a gift that maybe, I don't know, you're giving something, makeup or perfume or lingerie or something like that, in an exquisite little gift bag, and with the ½ metre you could get 2 really decent size gift bags out of that. I'd go for some plain as well. Have a look on the website for plain fabrics to make this go a little bit further and to split it up a little bit, because if you're making a bag you're going to want a lining for it, aren't you? So I wouldn't use one of these as a lining personally. Vast amounts of Moda. Right, we've got more miss outs though, so let me cold coffee and come on back again over here. So let's see who else is here this morning. Who else is checking in on Sunday mornings? So I do like to know what you're up to. Oh, nobody, unless I'm just not refreshing properly. Oh, there you go. We're all busy ordering, I suppose, this morning. Right, I've got this huge stash of fabric I was taking you through. That's the first cup to go cold, I think. Hi, Jan. Oh, now then, she says, in a previous life, I made smocking patterns. Will I be doing any more? I'm actually writing a smocking book, but it's not going to be published until either December 2021 or the beginning of 2022, I think, off the top of my head. But I have started. I have been smocking in between shows over here. This is the Canadian smocking that I do. But yeah, you'll have a book full of hopefully about 20 patterns and some new ones and combinations in there. So sorry, Jen, you're going to have to wait a little while for that one. Christine messaging as well. Hi, Christine. Are any of these fabrics soft enough for Canadian smocking? You can Canadian a smock with any kind of fabric, really. I think with these, some of them, the prints won't work on them. I'd go for the plainer fabrics. What a stripe. The stripes work quite well. Depends which design you're doing, I think. But yeah, you can smock with any of these. Anything you like. They're all 100% cotton, so yeah, that's going to be fine. Any more questions? I've not had smocking questions before, and then we get 2 together. How's that? We'd seen that one with the roses, hadn't we? We haven't seen this one with the red. There was another one. Oh, there was a blue background. So this one is roses on a white background. Really classic, this one, isn't it? Proper English country garden kind of a kind of print. So maybe something for your kitchen. Remember, these are by the ½ metre, so if you wanted to make a cafe curtain or tea cosies, or if you want to make something bigger, they're by the ½ metre, so you can have more fabric all in one piece there. Or yeah, little bits and bobs for the kitchen might be quite pretty. I'm thinking pine dressers with your tea set that you've been collecting since you were 18, and maybe little doilies across the thing, and then pretty jam jars with jam jar covers on them might be quite nice, or even in sewing room to keep buttons and things like that in. And it's a nice smaller print, so maybe it's doll's clothes you're making. That'd make a pretty dress, or a shirt if it's a boy doll, wouldn't it? That'd be really pretty. Carol, I still want to know where you're keeping 8,000 metres of fabric. I don't think I've got 8,000 metres of fabric, and I've got a shop. Tilda fabric as well. Tilda fabric, and you miss it or miss out. That's £5.99 for ½ metre. This is elegant again, isn't it? They're like really sophisticated, like vases with little birds on the top, and the ribbons around here. Another one of those fabrics that's really detailed. Oh, morning, sorry, I can't read you from there. Morning, Lady K. That's all she says, morning. So you just come and message and say morning if you like. Oh, so Sophia was a little late. That's not a little late, Sophia. We're nearly out of time. But nice that you could join us anyhow. Welcome along. More Tilda. With classic paisley design on this one. But lots and lots of details. Tiny little flowers in the background, and tiny little flowers and tiny little leaves. Love the detail on this. And of course, Tilda, of course you know the quality of that fabric. We only like to have the best here at Sewing Street, do you know? Don't you know? Oh, another one of these retro designs. This is a Lewis and Irene. And Poodles and Doodles, this one. There's no poodles on it. There's no doodles, to be honest, but there's lots of cats on chairs. With a pale pink background, this one, but again, that's I think it's quite 1950s, that one. We have flamingos on pink. We like to have a menagerie of fabrics here at Sewing Street. So we've had sheep, we've had cats, we've had flamingos. I've got a little bit of a botanical interest for you. Apparently, it's not a flock of flamingos, it's a flamboyance of flamingos. Maybe we either couldn't spell flamboyance or we can't fit it on the screen, so flock's probably easier, unless that's a spelling mistake. £3.99 is your price there. A Parliament of Owls. I knew it was a Parliament of Owls. I didn't know it was a murder of crows. That's a little cruel for the crows. I love crows. They're my favourite bird. They have, they've just got attitude. You know, you'd be driving down the M1 and there'll be a crow in the middle of the road and it'll step to one side and just go on then. And then it'll step back and it's probably tearing some poor rabbit apart or something. But I love the birds with attitude like that. They're really cool. We have butterflies and flowers. And again, £3.99 is the price there. That's called Village Pond, but it's on a very dainty. Are we saying that's green? I would have said it's yellow. Myself. Anyway, whatever colour you like. And again, just £3.99 is your price there. We have more animals. We have chickens and rabbits. This is a Lewis and Irene one again. Oh, no, because I remember when we launched this one. Daisy May, that was it. So strawberries, butterflies, chickens and rabbits. Oh, and there's chicks on it as well. And it is a very, very dark grey, almost black background. But it just means that all of the print really stands out on that one. That'd be a nice kitchen-y kind of thing, wouldn't it? We won't get through all this, will we? We've got flamingos on yellow. Shall I go a bit quicker? I could talk a bit less and just do my job and show the fabric, shouldn't I? But I do like to have a chat on a Sunday morning. And it's only us here. So we've got, as I said, there's myself and Kat and Paul and then Clive. And that's it in the whole building, which is great. Unless managing to watching from home, in which case, oh, it's dreadfully quiet and we much prefer you here. Morning, Kirsty. She's been sat in a cold conservatory sewing since 7 o'clock. She didn't realise the time. Oh, you're going to Stamford this morning for your brother's birthday. That's my neck of the woods, Kirsty. You'll love it there. Yeah, go while you can. My grandson's due at the end of the week and I don't think I'm going to get to see him. I keep telling Alex to stop pushing. Because if she has him before Wednesday, I should be able to get up there and see him. Right, I'm going to be quicker, aren't I? So, here at £3.99, we've got some very delicate flowers on a peachy background. This is the woodland songbird. So we've got very small type on the screen, and I can't read it. But that's very delicate, isn't it? So £6.99 for half a metre there. Really, really pretty. Then another one that I think is quite retro. So I'm speeding up now just to warn you in the gallery. Going quick. We have Summer Days. Now this is a nice colour in the background. Is that the one we call Chartreuse? And quite a mustardy kind of colour, that one. That's £5.99 for half a metre. We have flowers. White background on this one, nice and now this I'm thinking cushion covers. Cushion covers in your conservatory I think would be very nice for that one. Kirsty, that'd look lovely in your conservatory, don't you think? Maybe even a cover on a chair or something and matching cushion covers. And oh, moving on. We have little hearts. This reminds me of Tilda fabric somehow. Oh, it's a Liberty one, this one. I wouldn't have said, you know, if you saw this on its own, I wouldn't have automatically thought Liberty with that one. It's nice to see something a little bit different, isn't it? That's £5.49 for your half metre. We have mushrooms, or are they toadstools? This one's a really lovely peachy colour on this one. Oh, it's mushroom. It says mushrooms here, so it's got to be mushrooms. That's £6.99 for half a metre. And still in the collection. Tiny little dandelion clocks on this one. You have to look really closely to see them. That would make a nice blouse, I think. Little blouse or a shirt. £6.99 again for your half metre. Got a thread on that. And this matches perfectly. So you could do a border, couldn't you? Maybe the mitered corners and have that in the centre. And a nice piece of applique. Because these aren't going to fight or argue with anything that you put on top of them because they've got such a dainty background. We've got cats. Love this range of fabric. The cat face is a foil. This is a Riley Blake fabric. I like the colour of this one as well. And it's not too catty, if that makes sense. So, so some of them can be. I think this is quite subtle. You have to look twice, I think, to see that you have got cats on there. And then another really classic floral. These are all miss it, miss outs, remember, so a lot of these you're not going to see again. And some of them we are very low stocks on too, so I'm not going to have a chance to go all the way through again, but I would imagine a lot of these are selling out. What about grow and bloom in your garden? So we've hummingbirds on this one. Aren't they lovely? I've never seen a hummingbird. I'd love to. I think they're so pretty, aren't they? They must have incredibly strong wings. So again, £7.49 there. Bubbles. That's a fun print, isn't it? That looks like a digital print. That's £4.99. Colourful bubbles. That's really pretty, isn't it? It's quite. It looks almost like they're moving, doesn't it? It's quite an optical illusion kind of fabric, I think, on that one. Very different here with the flowers, though, just stylised flowers. Still got 3 minutes. We'll get there. I'm going to get through every piece of this fabric. That's £7.49 again. These are all by the half metre. Well, we've had the birds. We've got the bees now. Bee fabric's really popular, isn't it? that's, again, we have the minty green background on this one. And, there you go. So what would you make from the bee fabric? My eldest granddaughter's called Beatrix, and they shorten it to bee. She's got so many bee backpacks. She's got a bee cycle helmet, and so it's quite sweet. Oh, now then, does this go with the mushrooms that we saw earlier? Same collection, isn't it? I can't find my mushrooms. I've lost my mushrooms on a Sunday morning. Somewhere in here is fabric with mushrooms on. There you go. So they go really well together. But you've got the birds on there too. What kind of birds are they? So we've got your mushrooms again, and poppy seed heads, poppy pods we called them. Louis says lovely fabric, lovely colours. I think so. We've got quite a... Oh, now then, this one is part of your Mode a Big Bundle. But we do have it available by the half metre as well. So this is one I opened up earlier on. It's based on an original tapestry from what I can remember of this one. And it's May Morris, who's William Morris's, is it daughter or granddaughter? Some relative or other. Again, that's £7.49 for half a metre there. And still got more to go. I think this is Henry Glass. And it reminds me of wrought iron gates, somehow, this one. That's £7.99, again for half a metre. And it's got kind of a blush effect on the background, so it's not just a plain background. It's pretty, isn't it? Lovely colours on there as well. And a very delicate print. Oh, now then, this is a little bit Christmassy. So a tartan or a plaid, don't know the difference, and it's got a little bit of foiling on it as well. So a Christmas tree skirt maybe for this one. And let me just see how wide this is. Oh, I think that's wider than 110, isn't it? I've got a tape measure in the next hour. I shall maybe measure it up for you. That one's sold out. So if you have got it in your basket, then please check out as quickly as you can, because there's more of you trying to order than we've actually got the stock of. 2 more. Little Ditsy Flowers. So again, doll's clothes. I think with this one would be really nice. And I'm still thinking little girls' dresses. Those girls are going to have so many dresses. Again, that's £7.49 is your price there. And then finally, we got there. Actually, those go really well as well. There's a lot to mix and match with in that selection. £5.99, this is a Lewis and Irene splash red fabric. And it's got kind of a sheen to it. So it's not, it is foiled, isn't it? But it's like a foiling in red. But it's still soft. Sometimes when you see any kind of metallic effect on fabric, it can make it a bit scratchy, but this isn't. They've kept the quality. They've just had a little bit of interest there as well. Well, we got to the end. Do you want to see them all over again? Have you missed anything? Right. We do have the big Moda Miss It Miss Out bundle. We do have a couple of those still available. So if you wanted to get your paws on one of those, there's 14.5 metres, 29.5 metre panels for £216.99, all Moda, lots of different collections there. And it's available on split payments, so all you need to pay today is £72.33. No interest charged on those whatsoever. If you've got any questions about that, then do give us a ring on 0800 001 4433, and our customer service will be able to answer any questions that you may have. Okay, coming up in the next hour, we have brand new guests for you. Can't wait to introduce you to Clive. So he's waiting in the wings and he's going to show us some tips and techniques for making up the shirt that he's actually wearing there. Keep your messages coming in, so come and say hello to Clive in just a second as well. Cold coffee needs replacing with hot, I think. So you go and do the same, and we'll see you again in a couple of minutes.
If you'd like to get in touch with us during our live show and send in any messages or any questions, then you can do it on studio@sewingstreet.com. Alternatively, you can message us on our official Facebook page.
Hello, I'm Kerry from Living in Loveliness and I'm delighted to be part of the Sewing Street team. I'm based in Wolverhampton and I absolutely love working with fabulous fabrics. In particular, I love working with fat quarters and showing you how to get the most from your scraps. I love bringing communities of sewists together and encouraging people to sew for greater causes. Most recently, we have been sewing for our NHS and key workers. I look forward to bringing you hints, tips and techniques. I'll see you soon.
We are so excited for the launch of Yarn Lane, a TV show dedicated to knitting, crochet and all things yarn. We'll be bringing you demonstrations from our expert guests, as well as all the latest tools and gadgets. Watch our launch show on Monday the 2nd of November at 12 p.m. on Freeview Channel 74, Sky Channel 670 or our YouTube channel, when Helen from Woolly Chic will be teaching you how to crochet. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Yarn Lane TV and subscribe to our email newsletter to keep up to date with what's coming up.
Hello, my name's Fiona Hesford and I'm founder of Sew Girl. I'm based down in Worthing on the south coast of England, and I've got a range of sewing patterns which I've developed over the last few years, which are projects for loose fitting clothing, everyday simple garments, things that I really love to wear myself. And I'm going to be bringing you them to Sewing Street over the next few months. So I look forward to seeing you then. Bye.
Hi, I'm Helen from Woolly Chic. I design knitting and crochet patterns and I also teach crochet in Hitchin, Hertfordshire, where I live. My mum taught me to knit and crochet when I was a teenager, but it wasn't until my children were little that I picked up a crochet hook again and literally became hooked, and I haven't stopped crocheting and now knitting ever since. I began designing about 8 years ago and started selling my patterns as part of kits, putting together my designs with British wool, some of which comes from my family's sheep farmed in Pembrokeshire, Wales. I love the fact that with a simple fibre like wool, you can create something really beautiful and unique. Like garments or handmade accessories, cushions, blankets. Yeah, the possibilities are limitless. I'm also passionate about teaching crochet and passing on the skills that I have learnt. I'm really looking forward to being part of Yarn Lane TV and sharing some tips and tricks with you, and I really hope that you enjoy watching.
Hello everyone, I'm Delphine Brooks. It's so great to be here and part of the Sewing Street family. I'm local, I'm only down the road in Warwickshire. I started sewing many years ago when I was very young, doing lots of art and painting, and eventually I went into textiles and I really enjoyed doing the two together. I then had a bit of a break. Something you don't know about me maybe is that I spent many years in the Royal Air Force and eventually in the police as well. And then I went full circle and I've come back to my happy place of sewing, and which I really enjoy. My best sewing tip is measure twice and cut once. I have chipped up a couple of times by not measuring properly, and I do always regret it. So now I always measure twice, cut once. Anyway, I really hope to be with you again soon, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
If you'd like to get in touch with us during our live show and send in any messages or any questions, then you can do it on studio@sewingstreet.com. Alternatively, you can message us on our official Facebook page.
Hello there, welcome back again to Sewing Street. Now before I introduce you to Clive, I just want to give you the details of the shirt pattern because I think this is going to be really popular and I think it's so nice that we've got some menswear here as well. It's a simple shirt pattern but it's a classic style, so I think this is going to be great if you've never made a shirt before. I think you're going to need some sewing experience, but shirts can be a little bit daunting, and I think the reason being, or two reasons, collars and cuffs. But Clive's going to demystify that for you shortly. So just show you that, you know, if you have a go, you can do anything, can't you? I've got two sizes for you. So this one is the XN. What's XN? We've got the small to medium and the medium to large. Oh, the extra large, sorry. So let's give it the small to medium first, shall we? So size-wise, on this one, it's from chest. So these are on the website, so if you want to have a look on the website to see all of the measurements, then do feel free. There you go. So the small is 34 to 36 on the chest, and this pattern will take you through to the small, medium, large. Small, medium, large. The large is your 42 to 44, so that's your chest measurement. And then we also have the extra large to triple XL available, and that's the 40 to 48 on the smaller size, going up to 54 to 56 on the triple XL size, and they're each £10.49. Different styles of the shirt as well, so you can make long sleeve, you can make short sleeve, you can add a yoke to the front or the back if you wanted to, and you can put a pocket or two pockets on, so you can make different shirts with it. It's a multi-use pattern. You may need to trace those off if you're making different sizes. We've also put together some bundles of fabric for you. Now the largest size is going to take 3 metres. So we've got 3 metre bundles of fabric for you. Get us? So this is one that Clive's going to be demonstrating with today, which is sailboats. So you've got a denim kind of feel to this one, but it's not denim, it's lightweight. So it's perfect for shirting. So 3 metres easily. If you're making any of the smaller sizes, you can have a bit left over, so you can make yourself a matching tie. That's £29.49. Then we have the denim. So this is the shirt that you saw, Clive, the fabric that Clive, oh, you know what I mean, he's wearing this one. So we'll have a look at that in just a second. But that's a really nice smart fabric, and I'm thinking a little bit of red top stitching would be nice in that. So here he is. And that could be, you know, that could be a smart shirt, but it could be a casual shirt as well in that denim. We have plaids or checks, two colours in this one. So this is obviously navy. Stickers on there. That's £22.99. Again, these are all 3 metre bundles for you. And then the final colour option we've put together for you is this. It's like a sage green. Nice casual, a short sleeve shirt I think would be nice, wouldn't it? But you know, you make what you like, it's your pattern. £22.99, and again you've got 3 metres there. Now we've also got lots of bits and bobs, tape measures, needles, pins, we've got buttons, we've got scissors, we've got rotary cutters. We'll have a look at all of those on the website, but if there's anything else that you need, interfacing you're going to need as well, that's all on the website. Have a look on sewingstreet.com. But I've been threatening you with a new guest all morning. So let me introduce you to Clive. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome along to Sewing Street.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here.
Oh, I know.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, I'm so pleased that I'm doing your show, because we met a few weeks ago, didn't we, when he first came in for an interview. And I hope Clive comes in on a Sunday. So tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started.
I don't know where to start, really. I've kind of been sewing for a very long time, and I went to university and studied fashion design. I guess my sewing journey started when I was probably 6 or 7.
Oh, that young, really?
Yeah. I mean, obviously not as serious as what it is now, but my grandmother gave us a kind of hand-cranked sewing machine, and me and my mum made a pair of curtains from them. So, you know, like the kind of valances and
That was a
So
bit
it took
ambitious for your first project.
Yeah, it took us ages, it really did. But I've always been interested in, from a very small boy, I've always been interested in sewing, I guess. I used to make clothes out of toilet paper.
Really?
Yeah. There were no scraps of fabric in our house. So yeah, it's and then from then I went to college and I did a BTEC in design and went down the textiles route. But then I had a bit of a gap, or quite a big gap actually, from college up till I was 24, where I thought, right, I really want to kind of pursue this now. And I went to college to do a foundation in design.
Right.
And then from there I went to university to study fashion. But you know, the things with sewing, you're always kind of learning along the way, aren't you?
Yeah.
And my university degree got halted. But what I did take away from that was the sewing, the pattern cutting. So yeah, I just kind of done it from then. And then when I was 40, I decided, you know, I'd worked in bars and restaurants and things like that. I decided I need to make a go of this now, and you know, I've hit the big 4-0.
About time I got back to sewing.
Yeah. So I had another gap as well, and I kind of, so you know, start my own business.
Yeah.
Let's try and make this work. So I was doing, well, I kind of currently am, but not because of the COVID situation. Doing alterations on clothings and commissions to people. And then, yeah, and then from obviously Mark being on the Sewing Bee.
Mark's your husband?
Yes,
Yes.
sorry, yeah. Mark's my husband. Hello, love. I came to a meeting with him for Sewing Street, just to kind of give him some moral support, really. And they said, oh, what do you do? And I said, well, I sew. And they were like, do you want to be on the show? And I was like, rabbit in headlights moment. So yeah, it's funny how life turns out, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you know, along the way we're to this point today. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
I'm so pleased you ended up here.
Yes, no, thank
It's-
you.
it's
Thank you
really
for
nice
looking
to
after
have
me
you
as
here.
well. I appreciate
So is
it.
it just, is it just the dressmaking and the tailoring you're interested in, or have you dabbled in a bit of bag making and quilting?
So I was practicing a quilt. I say I dabbled. I kind of went, I quite like the look of making a quilt. And I have kind of made something that resembles, but I haven't actually backed it yet or anything like that. It's one of those projects that's like to the side.
Yeah.
And I haven't finished it. Because during the week, you know, I've got a day job, you know, thankfully I've got kind of work, so during a very difficult time. So actually sewing for pleasure is quite a rarity at the moment. This opportunity to sew this and to sew the dress has been really lovely, because it's been quite a while since I've actually, you know, made actual garments. And, you know, I've done alterations and things, which doesn't really challenge you as much, does it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've kind of just enjoyed the whole process of doing this, really.
Now, a lot of people are going to be thinking that a shirt is a challenging project.
Yeah.
So can you make it a little bit easier for us?
There are some easier elements to this pattern. For example, I don't know if they can get that there. The placket here is quite an easy placket, which I'm going to go through on this at the moment, and the cuff. Tailored shirts are very difficult, they are, and you need to be kind of medium to experienced sewer to be able to do this, really.
Right.
Or, as a beginner, give it a go. If anything
Everybody's made their first shirt,
yeah.
their first dress. So.
Everyone's sewn their first line of stitching, always gone wrong, we've all been there. So it's just taking the time, reading the pattern.
Yeah.
You know, we all make mistakes. I even make mistakes, and I have to sit there and unpick things. We're only human, aren't we?
I do that on air quite a lot. Just sitting and pick things. Yeah.
I actually bought the What's the? They showed an unpicker. It's like a razor.
Oh yes, because you can use it for nasal hair as well.
Yeah. I've never seen one before, but
They're brilliant, aren't
yeah,
they?
I saw it on the show and I was like, oh, I'm actually going to get one of those.
Yeah.
And I haven't actually tried it yet, but I'm dying to get I'm dying to get something wrong, so I can actually give it a go. But yeah.
Well, I think it's quite an achievement to buy one of those and not have to use it.
Yeah, I think if in reality, if we're honest with ourselves, we're all going to get the unpicker out at any moment, aren't we? Because it not all goes wrong all the time, but sometimes we make mistakes, and you have to unpick it. Actually, I quite like unpicking. It's quite therapeutic.
Yeah.
Just to see the garment come apart. And with that, having said that as well, what I would recommend is if you go to a charity shop as well, and if you're struggling to figure out the instructions, because sometimes these patterns they're not very clear, are they?
Mm.
Have a go at unpicking an old shirt and seeing how it's constructed. Because when you're unpicking, I think it's a valuable tool to learn that process of unpicking a garment just to see how it's put together, if that makes sense.
I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I've done that with zips in jeans and things like that.
Yeah.
If ever you needed to replace a zip, I'll always say, just take photos on your phone,
Yeah.
and as you unpick, take note of how all of the different pieces go together. But never thought about doing that with the shirt. That's a really good idea.
It's one of the things that we did at university was, especially with like jackets and things, they told us to go to a charity shop and like a suit jacket, and just unpick it and have a look inside, because actually when you look inside of a jacket, there's so much going on.
Yeah.
I haven't quite mastered that yet, like a tailored suit jacket, which is something that is on my to-do list. But yeah, it's a really good idea to go to the charity shop. They're a couple of pounds or £4 or £5, just to kind of unpick and just see how it's made, really. You'll be surprised, actually. Like some of the garments that I have altered, you go in and you're like, oh my goodness, this is terrible. They're not. Some of them aren't very well made.
Yeah.
So that's a learning curve as well. And the beauty of making your own is that you know how then to do it better.
Yes. And you know that you're going to get the perfect fit as well, which is what I wanted to ask you about. So are the measurements true on this? I know with a lot of ladies' patterns, they're not, because we always say go by your measurements and by your dress size and always measure.
Yeah.
Is it the same for the shirt?
Yeah, well this is an extra large that I'm wearing, and we've all put on a bit of COVID pounds, haven't we?
Yeah, me too.
So I was an extra large, and then I was kind of buying, if I was going to go and buy clothes, a double XL. But this is actually an extra large, and I always struggle with the collar. But this fits lovely. It's really, really nice. So yeah, I would say they're true, because I'm a bigger chap. Go sideways on. So if you're about my size, or your husband is my size, then an extra large is perfect.
Okay.
But yeah, it's always good to kind of measure yourself anyway. But they're really, it's really good, really true to the pattern.
Okay. So where are we going to start? What would you like to show us?
I'm going to take my hat off.
Okay.
Because it is hot in here. Right.
Yeah, we've got the aircon on. You can probably hear that.
Thankfully. Right. So what I'm going to show you to begin with, excuse that pattern, is the sleeve construction. Now what I've done here is, here's one I made earlier.
Got to be said.
Yeah, so on the pattern, it doesn't actually tell you to kind of pull this seam in and kind of top stitch it down, but I have, because when I made this in the denim, the raw edges were very raw. You can obviously overlock them, or you can zigzag stitch, or you can kind of pink in shears. But it's actually, I think it's quite a nicer finish to have that just on the sleeve. It's on the inside. It just nobody sees it, but it's just a nice little thing for yourself to know that you've done it. So, and this is going to lead up to, let me just pull that, pull that forward. Make sure I've got that in shot, there we go. This is going to lead up to the placket here. It's a very, very simple placket. Like I say, with shirts, you do have the more complicated placket where they kind of cross over.
Yeah.
This is a lot easier, so much easier. I'm making 100 of these shirts when I get the opportunity. So we're going to start with that first. It does, so you will get 2 lines of stitching on the other side as well. If you can see that there.
I like that look though. It looks so professional, almost designer, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a lot nicer than, you know, just having the plain seam.
Yeah.
Because on the inside it would just be a plain seam. Like I say, it just gives it a nicer finish, and especially if you're doing it in the denim as well, you could put a different coloured top stitch. Well, actually, the bobbin would be the top stitch from underneath, because I top stitch it from that side round.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Move on. I'm going to leave that over there.
Have we had any messages for Clive yet this morning? Not on Facebook. Christine's messaged in this morning. Hi, Christine.
Hello, Christine.
Welcome, Clive. She said it's lovely to see you today.
Ah, hello. Thank you very much.
And she's interested to watch the demonstration. She says she thinks you're fabulous.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's really kind. So what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to put a couple of markings on this to mark out because there is a pleat at the bottom. It's that side there.
Right.
If you can zoom in on that at all. Sorry, let's get that the other way around. So just lay your pattern piece over the piece that you would have cut out. And with... No, I had that pen.
Oh, we do. You did
Oh,
have
here
that
it
pen,
is.
yeah.
Here it is. I've got it. I've got it. Okay.
It's normally scissors that I put down and they completely they're right in front of me. I just can't see them. It's all the time.
So we're just going to mark this pleat up. If it, oh, hang on, let me just pull that forward a bit more. If you can see that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we're just going to mark this pleat in. And I've already kind of punched through the pattern on this with a couple of little holes. You can use a pin or, you know, something like that. Or you could mark it with pins itself. So I'm just going to do that before we even start. I might have to come back to it in a minute just to remark it, because that's an air erasable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always test. I think it's a good idea to always test the pens on fabrics just to, you know, make sure it's not going to stain the fabric, or it's actually going to work and erase. Because sometimes they don't, do they?
So do you always use pens? You don't use tailor's tacks?
You can use tailor tacks, but I like
I like pens.
for the
They're just
ease.
quick, yeah,
It's easier, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
To use the tailor tacks. So I'm just going to line this up here and pin. Okay, just make sure that's in shot. Oh goodness, this is like a foray of pins. This is needles. So choose a pin, any pin.
A selection of pins.
Yeah.
Lucy's messaged in. Hi, Lucy.
Oh, is that my auntie Lucy? Hello.
Oh, it's giddy Auntie Lucy.
Yeah, my giddy aunt. Yeah. Oh, bless her. It's her favourite show, this, as you know.
Sorry?
She loves Sewing Street.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
Well, she's wishing you all the best this morning.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
That's very kind. No pressure.
We've had a message off Glitter as well.
Ah, Glitter. So Glitter is one of like Mark's followers on Instagram.
Oh, right.
And and she also listens to my radio show as well. So she's a bit of a fan, I suppose, which is quite
she's
nice.
Big hello.
Yeah, hi Glitter, thank you for watching.
Tell us about your radio show while you're pinning.
So I do a community radio show on a Friday. It's Radio Abbey.
Right.
It's LGBTQ focused, just because, you know, I wanted to bring that kind of into the area of Warwickshire, because there isn't really a radio show like that out there. So yeah, I guess I play lots of cheesy pop music.
I love a bit of cheesy pop music.
Yeah. sorry, what I forgot to mention, because, you know, live TV, is I need to mark, so we need to mark where we're actually going to stop, where the opening happens for the placket. And that's, let me just pull that forwards. That is just this little dot here, or the big dot I should say. So again, you can just mark that through. So just here, look, there we go.
There we got it.
And let's start stitching. I'm going to put my glasses on for this, my other glasses, my Harry Potter glasses.
Derek's messaged in saying, hooray, clothes for men.
Yeah, this is what we need.
Dominique says, what does Dominique say?
Is that glitter?
Oh, yay, love Clive.
Okay.
Julie says, welcome along this morning, lovely to meet you.
Ah, hello Julie. I should concentrate on what I'm doing really, shouldn't I? We've got one of these at home, these machines. It's the Juki NX, it's absolutely amazing. So I don't know if anybody else. So I'm just going to stitch there, back stitch, just to secure that line. Oh, what's going on here?
We only have, by the way, one of those machines left in stock. And it'll be on 5 flexible payments, split payments. So if you were interested. Morag's messaging on Facebook this morning as well. She says, morning Clive and welcome. She's not brave enough to try a shirt yet.
Oh, you should give it a go. It's always, you know, maybe just do it in calico or some leftover fabric that you've got.
Yeah. And you know, you probably find that you wear it if it works out okay anyway,
Yeah.
in the calico.
If you made it in calico, you could dye it, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's true.
Like tie-dye it or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
I like the versatility of the pattern as well though, because remember you've got short sleeves, long sleeves, one pocket, add pockets wherever you want to.
Yeah.
You can have a yoke at the back and at the front, and you were saying earlier actually you could just have one.
Yeah,
one
I
yoke.
think like if you wanted to be like really edgy, you could just have like a yoke at the front on one side.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Because just to make it a little bit different, you could put your pocket down here. You could put a pocket on the back. I'm a little, yeah, I'm a little bit alternative when it comes to that. Vivienne Westwood's she's my icon, and I love her clothing. That's what got me when I was looking to study fashion. That's what inspired me. I should say, yeah. Love Vivienne Westwood.
But I think it's so nice to add a bit of personality to a shirt like that, because for a lot of men that's all you wear. There's not a lot of choice like there is for women. So to have something that is bespoke and unique and personal to you.
Yeah, just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. That's that seam done there. So if you can see, I'm just going to put that there. I've stopped just at where the dot is. And what we're going to do now is open that seam, press it open. There's my little iron. There he is. Do you know, I haven't got one of these and I think I'm going to have to get one.
Oh, they're a must-have. It's so, I presume we've still got it in stock, but it's just nice to have at the side of your sewing machine if you've got smaller seams. And it's a proper hot little steam iron, you know, it's not a toy.
So I'm just guiding my fingers through that seam, just pushing that down. I'm going to have to get one of these this little kind of portable ironing boards as well. Mark, if you're watching, see if there's any on the website. We need this in our life. Just going to turn
It's nice that you've both got the same hobby.
Yeah, well, Mark. So when I came back to sewing later on in my life, Mark was interested. He's like, oh, can you make me a shirt? Can you make me a shirt? Can you make me a shirt? And I was like, oh, you know, it's a lot of work. you know, and I did in the end, but he kept kind of saying, well, I want this and I want that, and I was like, why don't you actually learn how to sew? And he did. Well, he went and did a course because I tried to teach him, and it's like teaching a loved one how to drive.
Yes.
Just don't do it. Sorry, I need to pull that forward a bit, don't I? So, as you can see, it's basically ironing open the seam allowance. Now this is so before, if you remember what we did earlier, here's one I made earlier, is I've got this kind of seam tucked in there. Now you have to be quite dexterous with your fingers with this one. The denim is a lot easier to do than this fabric, I must say.
Right. So the crease is easier.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit more heavyweight, so it's got the depth there. Oops. So I'm just turning it in with my fingers, rolling it over. Let's get it out of the way.
Kirsty says morning and welcome, Clive.
Thank you, Kirsty. Hello.
Oh, Nanny Teacup.
Nanny
Susan
Teacup.
McCall's pattern on TV on my first ever man shirt. She found it very easy, but I had to think twice on the shoulder panels, the sausage roll bit. That's putting the yoke into the back, isn't it? Where
yeah.
You roll it up.
This pattern, you sew the yoke straight onto the top of the back of the.
Oh,
So you're
and
not-
it's shaped, isn't it?
Yeah, so you don't turn it. You're not turning it out.
All right.
But I know what she means. Yeah, it's quite tricky because
It is, but isn't it satisfying when you turn it out and it works?
Yeah.
Helen's messaged in as well.
Hello, Helen.
Oh, she says you deserve a drink while you're working because you're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you very much.
He's already had a vodka this morning.
That is not true. I wish I had to calm my nerves though. But Sunday morning drinking vodka,
Can you
unless
imagine?
it's in a Bloody Mary. It counts as breakfast, doesn't it? Tomato juice.
Yeah. It's one every 5 a day.
Yeah. So, sorry, this has taken me a little bit longer.
Don't worry
Probably
about it.
because I'm live on telly.
Yeah, most of us don't sew live on TV, so it can be a bit daunting.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not too bad. It's it's certainly an experience anyway, which I'm enjoying. So.
Well, good, because we booked you in again for another day, haven't we?
Yes, I'll be back on the 28th, I believe.
Good.
So I'm just going to finish up that one up there. There we go.
I'm hearing you're doing alternate weeks with Mark. Mark's on the 21st, you're on the 28th.
Yeah, Mark's on 21st, so we're fighting over the studio to kind of get the samples made up. Because like I say, we both got day jobs, you know, in real life. So it's trying to get that time to be able to go in there. We are actually we're selling our house so we can get a bigger studio space.
Lovely.
Or two, his and his, separate rooms. Because I love my husband to bits, but he is a messy sewer. And I don't know if he's going to like me saying that live on air, but I've said it now, so there it is.
It's out there.
Yeah. Well, that one went a lot quicker than the other one.
Do you critique each other's work?
Absolutely.
Well, I wouldn't have done it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's difficult because, Mark is naturally gifted, isn't he? I mean, we got on the sewing bee, so,
Yeah.
It's quite annoying that he is so natural at it but I'm really pleased. I'm really proud of him and what he's achieved.
And how did he end up on the sewing bee?
Quarter finalist.
And whose fault was it that he got there?
Oh, that was my fault. I started the application for him, and there was a couple of questions. I can't remember what they were now, but I couldn't answer. And we were sat in the lounge, and I just said, "Oh, I'm filling out an application for the sewing bee," and he was like, "What?" Which is quite. He was like, "Oh, was like, don't worry about it, you'll never get on. It'll be fine. And he did. And he got to the quarterfinal. So
That's fantastic.
he did very well. So I'm not going to pin this, just because the press, when you've used a bigger iron maybe for this one, should hold it down. So so as you can see, I'm going on the inside. So if you were going to do a denim one and you wanted a contrast colour, do the bobbin a different colour.
Right.
Just so it kind of pops. You could do pink, you could do
Yeah.
green, you could do, well, the traditional yellow on denim. For this one though, I've chosen a similar colour to the shirt.
Okay.
There we go. Now, I don't know how close you can zoom in on that.
We can get in there. We're on our way.
Okay. So with this, you want to sew right to the edge. So you're going to catch all that raw edge in.
Right.
And if this doesn't go well, I'm a perfectionist and I won't unpick live on air. But normally, I like it straight on the edge. So this, it has. The machine's unthreaded itself, which is always useful. Sorry about this, viewers.
That's all right.
Let me
Meanwhile,
just-
Denise has sent a message in. Clive is just lovely.
Ah, thank
And
you,
she says it's
Denise.
nice to put a face to the name. Oh, John's messaged in as well. Is that
Is that
is
John
that our
Scott?
John? It says you're doing a brilliant job. Well done. Lots of love.
Ah, thank you, John.
Janet says placket is a new word for her,
Placket.
and that you're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, Teddy's still with us. Teddy likes the idea of a contrast yoke. That'd be a nice idea.
Yeah.
Or if you're using the check fabric, maybe having the check in the opposite direction, so it's like a diamond shape as opposed to an up and down kind of check kind of thing.
Sorry, I was I just completely zoned out then for a second.
I'm so sorry, it happens when you say it. That's fine. Any more on Facebook yet this morning? Oh, I'm not refreshing this morning.
Is it live on Facebook?
No, we're not at the. We are, are we? Oh,
Oh,
no,
we are.
we're not live on Facebook this morning.
Oh, we're not.
Facebook are having an argument with YouTube and they're not letting us do both at the same time, apparently. We're live on YouTube.
Oh, we're live on YouTube.
Yep.
Hello, YouTube.
Was that Claire, sorry? Sarah. Sarah says you're a natural.
Ah, I wonder if that's Sarah. It's one of my customers, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She actually, this denim, Sarah, is the perfect denim for that dress that I've drafted for you. And this would make a nice denim dress as well.
Yeah.
This fabric.
Yeah. And we've put together 3 metres for you, so you've got plenty for a dress there as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Only £9.49 metre.
So that's that side done. I've got to say thank you to Kat for sorting out this machine for me, because this is the one we use at home, so it's quite nice to work on in here. It's like an old friend, isn't it? Your sewing machine.
It's so quiet as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely. It's really
Yeah.
nice.
So do you have a machine each?
Yes, I've got a Juki QVP, the quilter's one, just for the straight stitch. Just
Okay.
yeah, and then this is well, not this one, but the one we have at home is Mark's. But I've been allowed to use it, and for ages I didn't allow him to use mine.
Sounds right to me.
So yeah, now we use each other's machines, which is nice.
Or what
It's all
about your threads and fabric? Do you share those, or do you have individual stashes?
Oh, we've
collections?
got, I mean, like every sewer, we've got stacks and stacks of fabrics. But if we need anything for a project, it's just search the stash. Right. Stop talking and carry on sewing. No, that wasn't aimed at you, by the way. Talking to myself. Do a bit of motorway sewing. Foot to the floor. There we go. And then we're just going to give that a quick press, because you always need to press to your seam so the thread relaxes into the fabric. Nice little tip.
Makes all the difference, though, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. You know, sometimes when I first started out, I was quite a lazy sewer and I wouldn't press seams as much. But when you learn, it's really important to press, to notch, you know, your patterns, use the dots. It's really important. Because if you miss it, it's going to be slightly out.
I did a short course, years ago now, at the London College of Fashion.
Oh yeah.
And when we went in for the tour, the first room we were shown into was the pressing room, because they said that is as important as the sewing room. And it is, though, right? You don't do one without the other, do you?
No. At the university I went to, was at Epsom in Surrey. They had these, I mean, they were as big as this table, and they used to suck the fabric down.
Yeah.
You just go, done. Wouldn't we all love to have one of those at home? Right, so I'm just going to leave that to one side for a second, and we're going to go into a cuff. Okay. So this is what it's going to look like. There we go. Leave that there for a sec. And obviously, I've prepared this from earlier. Well, not earlier. I did it the other day. So you've got an interface piece. And now the pattern actually instructs you to, when you're interfacing, to cut these corners off here. And this is to allow you, for when you turn it out, you'll get a nice kind of straight curve if you've done nice curved sewing. Okay. But what we need to do first, so with the piece that's not interface, is we need to turn that over 1.5 centimeters. Most people that I know, or most sewers, can usually do this by eye, but if you're inexperienced, it's best to get a bit of a tape measure and give that a bit of a measure, just to make sure you are 1.5 centimeters in. And then you just judge it all the way along.
So that's the non-interface piece that you fold over?
Actually, I think I might have just done that the wrong way.
Oh, don't worry.
That's what happens. So my bad, you need to do it that way around. So right sides together.
Right.
Sorry about that, viewers.
Now, apparently, we are live on Facebook now.
Oh, we are.
But I can't find you.
My mind, live TV, my mind's gone blank.
Don't worry.
Where's that instructions gone?
There we go. I'm all right there, aren't I?
Hang on, I'll tell you what, let me just look at this. Oh, I did have it right the first time round.
I did.
I did. Right, sorry about that.
So I've just got the IT department looking at the iPad just so I can read your messages. It's Cat. Wears many hats, does Cat.
And then what we're going to do, right sides together with, on top of the interface piece, is we're just going to lay that, in shot there. We're just going to lay that there. And we're going to pin.
Pinning's important as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I think particularly with smaller pieces like this, you might be tempted to, just sew it. I'll just match the edges together.
With the curved seam as well, it's really important to kind of pin that.
Yeah.
Just so you're doing it correctly. And what you could do is you could get the erasable pen, wherever that I put it. And
probably right in front of you.
Yeah, and you could just dash a little line just all the way around, just that curved seam, because sometimes curved seams are quite tricky, aren't they? Just so it's guiding you in the right direction. If you're not a confident sewer, that's a needle.
Oh, we've got also there's a bread knife and everything in that that pin cushion.
Bread knife. I could do with some toast right now. Do you reckon we could get Kat to make some toast for us?
She is the resident chef as well. Yeah, yeah.
Who baked the cakes outside?
So again,
There's some cakes on the side out the back there.
there are, and you're very welcome to have one. That's,
can
Alison brought them in yesterday.
Did you see my little cue to who baked those?
Well, you
And
can't
can
have
I-
those.
And can I have one?
Mark says, "Hello, my love. You're doing a fab job. Keep going, keep sewing."
Thank you, hubby.
You've had loads of lovely messages.
Aw.
We've got, oh yes, we are live on Facebook. Lisa says you're a natural. Anne says that you're doing a brilliant job. Mandy's loving the show. Neve says, morning Debbie and Clive, a perfect Sunday morning, watching a great demo. Well done, Clive.
Oh, thank you.
Who was that with the, sorry. Oh, Teddy says that you're great to watch with a friendly and chatty manner.
Ah.
Yeah, Anne says you're doing well. I've said that one, haven't I?
It's quite overwhelming, really. Like, thank you. Do you know, the sewing community are so lovely, aren't they?
And do you know, I love the social media. I know it has a lot of downsides, but I love it for this aspect.
Yeah.
When I first started working in TV, which was some 40 years ago now, people were sending letters to the studio. There was none of this instant. They couldn't even phone into the studio or anything like that. You'd
how nice is that?
have letters. So, but this instant feedback, I think, is lovely.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. I was very nervous at the beginning, but now I'm relaxing into it.
Good.
So we're just going to start here where we've kind of sewn over that seam allowance. And obviously this is 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. And it does require you to trim it afterwards, but I'm going to do that for you. So it's starting right at the top. So we're just going to go forward a couple. It's unthreaded itself again. Why is it doing that?
It's
because
rebelling
it knows,
a little bit.
It's because it knows that I'm live. That's why. Do you know? I should just use the cutting little thing on the side here.
Oh, well, Lisa's looking forward to your 11 o'clock show as well. It's the yellow dress on the set that we're going to be doing at 11 o'clock this morning. It's a nice style of dress as well.
Yeah, it's quite.
But Clive's going to show you the neckline, aren't you?
Yeah, it's quite an easy one to do, that one.
Yeah, lovely.
Right, that's threaded now. So we're going to go forward and just backstitch that, just to secure it there. And then we're going to go round really slowly at this point. I take the pins out as I go.
Oh, I do, yeah.
I think some people don't. It just depends on your style. Some people like to hammer the pins over the, the needle over the pins.
No, I don't think it does your machine any good if you hit them.
No,
I
don't.
It worries me more. I've never broken a pin, but it worries me that if I did break a pin, where's the end of it going to go?
Yeah.
So
I mean, if that gets in your machine, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, you're not in trouble. It just won't work.
Gabriel says, hi Debbie and Clive, your aunt is lovely.
Ah, my auntie.
Your aunt is lovely. Your aunt is lovely.
My auntie Lucy.
And Mark, oh, go on.
Go on what?
He says, how come you've been in telly for 40 years? Because I'm only 35. I've got a 40-year-old son. Yeah, work that one out. Stephen says, great to see him on demonstrating shirt making. Well done, Clive. Hope to see you again.
Oh, you will. If they'll have me back.
Oh, we can't wait for you to come back. Clive's back again, well, at 11 o'clock, and then back again on the 28th.
Oh.
And we've only got a few minutes left, actually. We've got about 7 minutes.
Oh, right, okay.
7 minutes.
That hour goes really quickly, doesn't
It does, doesn't it?
So I'm not going to use the automatic threader this time because it clearly doesn't like it for me today. Normally that's fine and it does work. Let me just move that out of the way. that. So the pattern requires you to trim this, so I'm just going to trim it down to about 5mm. Always rotary cut away from yourself. That's very important.
Have you always used a rotary cutter with dressmaking?
No, I mean, when I was at university, this thing didn't even exist.
No.
So these are so handy, aren't they? Especially when you're cutting out things. I absolutely love a rotary.
I like, particularly when you're cutting out patterns, because with scissors, you're lifting the pattern and the fabric.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're not accurate, but with a rotary cutter, and everything's flat and level. So it may take a little bit of practice, and a lot of people are quite wary of rotary cutters because they're so sharp.
Yeah, they are sharp, and you need to be careful and you need to shut it. Not like I did, and they do lock as well. So
yeah.
But anyway, so we're just going to turn that through now and press it. I like to, when I'm doing this sort of stuff, I like to kind of roll it with my fingers first, give it a bit of a roll press, just so you've got a nice, neat edge. I haven't got a turning tool, so I'm going to use the back of an unpicker just to kind of get that out. You could clip the curve as well, which might make it a bit neater, but I haven't got time to do that right now. So
And would you top stitch that as well?
Yeah, so at a later point you do top stitch the cuff when it's on the actual sleeve.
Right. We're not going to have time to do the collar as well.
Oh, I'm
We'll
so
have to
sorry.
come back again
I'm
and
so
do a
sorry.
collar. Oh no, the hour does go really, really quickly.
It does, it really does. Like, you know, when you're dealing with threading machine.
and all these messages that you're getting.
Ah, thank you. It's really overwhelming, actually. I'm really, yeah, I'm overwhelmed.
Glenys uses a cutter.
Glenys uses a rotary.
Rotary cutter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love a rotary cutter. Not for everyone, but, you know, they are really useful.
Oh, was it Sue or Susan? Sue. Susan messaged in. She met you in a Port Mary ice cream parlour.
Oh, yes, I remember. We were sat having an ice cream and this lady, obviously Mark was spotted first, because wherever we go now, it's a bit of a, oh, it's Mark Francis from the Sewing Bee.
Oh, that's going to change now.
Wow. And yeah, it was, she just kind of, you know, she was looking over sort of thing, and Mark had a little chat with her. She was lovely, really nice. How long have I got?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. I'll tell you what, that's that done.
Right.
Okay. Let me just get the bodies together quickly. I'm not going to be able to insert that sleeve in 5 minutes, there's no way. But I'll give it a go.
No, right? So you're just going to have to come back again. That's just what's going to happen.
Yeah, sorry folks, I didn't realise it would take me that long.
Right. Linda says it's nice to see someone rolling the seams like I was taught. It gives such a good edge.
It does, it really does. And then obviously the top stitch afterwards will just secure it in even nicer and crisp.
Linda loves making shirts until she gets to the button, which she has to sew on by hand. Oh no, the button band, sorry. That's hand instead of band. Until I get to the button band. We're not going to get to the button band, I'm afraid, Linda.
No, so on the instructions, the button band does say to slip stitch it at the end, but you do machine stitch it most of the way.
Right.
But I didn't slip stitch, just because I didn't. Sometimes you don't have to. Like, the instructions are there as a guide. I think it's useful to just to use your own initiative sometimes.
Yeah.
Or seek advice, watch the videos on Sewing Street, because there's lots of handy tips out there. They're, you know, social media and videos are all out there, aren't they?
Yeah.
So. Right, I'm just sewing this together real quick. I'm just going to be quick on this one. So excuse me if it's messy.
Derek says, this is such an informative show. I'm going to have to watch it all over again.
Well, I didn't get much done, but thank you, Derek. I'll have to come in again and do a collar next time. There we go. Just take that up. Now, with the shoulder seams, while we're here, I don't know if you can zoom in on that bit there.
We're on our way. We're coming over. Hold on in there. Here we go. There we are.
So I've top stitched that. So I pressed it open, then I top stitched either side. Again, you could use a contrasting thread colour to do that, and that neatens the edge off as well. With this, I shall press it towards the front. I'm going a little bit off piece now, just because I'm really aware that we've only got a few minutes left. So if I press that over to the front side, and I will top stitch it really quickly. Oh look, that's not done that very well, is it?
But these are things that, you know, they're not in the pattern, but
They're not. No, they're not in the pattern, so it isn't necessarily needed. But I do feel it gives it a nicer finish.
Yeah.
And you could double stitch this as well. Like you could do a double row of stitching.
But there's things like, it's like when you follow instructions in a book, or you've seen a project in a magazine that you like, and you think, well, I like it. I like that, but I'd do it this way, or I'd like to add this to it. And I think that's quite, maybe it's the first time you made a show, make it as it is.
Yeah.
But then experiment with, you know, pockets where you want it to be, where you want them to be, and yokes or no yokes, or different types of fabric and things like that.
It just makes it more unique to your own style of sewing, I guess.
It's like having a recipe, isn't it? But
Yeah.
you like a particular ingredient, so you're going to add that to it.
So I know this is, I did go off, didn't I, and kind of just do my own thing. I didn't stick to the script.
Well, no one's going to stop you in the street and say, oh, no, that's not what the pattern said you should do.
But I just wanted to kind of show you what that does up there. So if you can see that.
No, it just finishes it off.
Yeah, it just finishes it off nicely.
Yeah.
Where's that sleeve? No, I just need to make sure I've got the right one.
There's no reason why you couldn't put a couple of darts in the back if you wanted it more fitted.
Yeah,
maybe, or
yeah. I mean, I suppose that's for the more experienced sewer. Now, where is my... I'm so sorry. See, I knew I'd come back to this eventually. And this is what, you know, when you're sewing, you keep your pattern pieces handy, because you'll always come back to them. I've got a pen in there, look.
I have a dress form which, oh, well, it's more like a dummy really, because the main thing I use it for is just to pin the pattern pieces to, so I can identify exactly where they are, particularly when you've got lots of pieces in the pattern.
So I've just marked, sorry, I should have explained what I was doing. I've just marked the hole there, so that's basically where you're going to put the seam on the shoulder. He says. So if we're just matching, sorry, right sides together, we just match that up on there, and we pin. Where did I put my pins?
Claire says she just uses instructions as a guide. She was making a wedding dress, and there was a piece that didn't seem to go anywhere, supposedly, for buttons on the back of the body, so she stuck a zip in instead. But nobody's going to know.
Exactly. I think when you're doing it for yourself, or even if you're doing it for somebody else, you know, if they're not going to have the knowledge of knowing where it goes, then that's the beauty of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can just do it how you want to do it. No, I've not done that right. Why have I gone wrong there? Sorry, folks.
Because you're on live TV and because I'm pressurising you by saying we're running out of time is probably why.
Yeah. That's the back. Oh, that's why. I was putting it in the neck piece and not the armhole.
So that would be an interesting shirt.
It would be an interesting shirt. There it is. Okay.
While you're just pinning that in, do you mind if I go through the
No,
different
not
bundles
at
that we
all.
have for
No,
you?
Go for it.
Because if you wanted to order the pattern with the fabric, they're not bundled together, but if you wanted this fabric, which is the one that Clive's using for your shirt, we've actually put 3 meters together for you. And that will make the biggest size of the shirt. So if you're making the smallest one, you're going to have a little bit left over. So in fact, the biggest size of any variation, there's enough there with the 3 meters to make it. So it's 100% cotton. It's really nice quality, and it's nice and crisp, which is something that you want for a shirt, isn't it? So it's £29.49 for all 3 meters. I'm assuming it's 140 wide. That one, yes, could be dressmaking fabric. The denim, which is, we're low on stock on this one. So this is the fabric that Clive's wearing. It's not, I mean, it's denim, but it is crisp, but it's not heavy. So
really nice.
it's not like jeans denim, is it?
No, it's very nice, lightweight.
Yeah.
It would do for this or a dress even.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be nice. I'm thinking that dress that we've got. That's coming up later. So that's £29.49 again for 3 meters. Or we've got a couple of checks for you. So there's the blue and white, really classic, that one, isn't it? Maybe a work shirt or casual shirt. I'm thinking short sleeve might be nice with the checks. So that's £3.99. I don't think we're that generous. That's for a ½ metre. We've put together 3 meters for you. Yeah, don't get your hopes up. It's £22.99. We do good prices, but not that good. And then finally is the green check.
I'm still pinning over here.
Yeah, right. That's okay.
When you're putting a sleeve into anything, it's going to need easing into it. So obviously you put in 2 different curved elements. So and this is the point where live TV meets as reality. Take your time. It's really important to, when you're doing, especially the sleeve, because you don't want any pin tucks or anything like that. And even if you did, you can unpick it and do it again. Just don't be afraid to give it a go, really.
So easing meaning you're stretching
yeah,
the
just kind of
fabric so
stretching
they
the
meet.
fabric. Yeah, this has got a bit of stretching, so it's quite good. Let me just pressure sewing.
I never understood why. I mean, all patterns where you're putting a sleeve in like this, you have to ease it. I
Yeah.
don't know why they just don't make the pattern the right size in the first place.
I think it's just, obviously it's the curved element, isn't it? It's because it's curved, it just requires that little bit of stretching.
Yeah.
And obviously you just need to go and adjust. If you need to go in and adjust a couple of pins, then you need to go and do that, really. That looks okay. Now something that is really important with here, which I didn't do, is you need to notch, which I did. I had notched this obviously when I made it, but for some reason I didn't put the notches in, or I can't find them. Just make sure that your notches are very clear, because that's going to help you put your sleeve in the right place.
Okey-doke.
How long have we got?
Well, we're kind of out of time, but we're going with it.
Excellent. We're just going to go off the cuff.
Was that a pun?
Off the I didn't even think about that then. Oh dear. We're going into extra time, like football.
Yeah.
I just hope that I've put the right sleeve in the right size now.
Oh, you haven't got time to unpick.
No.
Just to give you a reminder of the patterns as well, while Clive's just sending the sleeve in, we've got 2 sizes for you. There's the small, medium and large, or you can go for the extra large to triple XL. So the small one is between 34 on the chest and 44, and the larger size is between 46 and 56 inches. So just go and give yourself a quick measure, and and yep, choose the size that you want. If you are, so large is up to 44, extra large to 46. No, they don't overlap. A lot of the time with women's patterns, they kind of overlap. And you normally go for the bigger one, but those are quite distinctive.
They're true to size. The shirt. It's very true to size. Like I said earlier, this is an extra large, and post-COVID, I was probably going up to a double XL. Just because all the gyms were closed. It's been quite sad, really, hasn't it? But let's not get depressed about that.
No, we're just going to think about all the sewing we can do.
Yeah. Okay.
All those deadlines I might actually get to meet. Hi, Brenda in Kentucky. What's your weather like again this morning,
Kentucky?
Brenda? She's in Kentucky, yeah.
What, in America?
Yeah.
Wow. Hi, Brenda.
So I ask you this every week, don't I? What time is it in Kentucky? I can never remember. Are you 5 hours behind, or is it a little bit more?
Well, that's early then, isn't it?
Derek says, thanks for the going into extra time. Oh, it's all right. We've only got the flower of the month in this hour anyway. and we haven't even got them. I'll explain that later. Okay. Paul says there's penalties for going into extra time.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, you've got to eat 4 cakes when you come off air.
Okay. Okay.
Margaret's loving watching. Thank you, Margaret. Glad you're loving the show. Now, remember with Facebook, we only came live halfway through, but on YouTube, you can watch back anytime you like. So it'll be live on YouTube now, but then later on this afternoon, the whole day will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. So you can watch any of the shows, basically, since we started on February the 14th.
Oh, has it been that long, really?
Yeah, I know, it's gone quickly.
So all throughout lockdown it was on as well?
Yeah. We never stopped.
Oh my goodness. Let's see.
It was very different then. It's like nobody on the roads when you came into work in the morning. And it was very strange when things kind of got back to normal, and I left work and sat in a traffic jam. I haven't seen one of these for months.
All right, I know that I haven't eased this in properly because I feel like I'm rushing. So I'm going to have a couple of pin tucks in here.
It's a design feature.
It's a design feature. Let's just go with that.
Helen says her husband likes his shirts a little bit longer. Would it be easy to just add a bit to the length?
Yeah. On the pattern, there's obviously this is on the arm piece, for example. So there's a line there. If you just cut there and then put whatever length you need in extra, you can use a bit of tissue paper, or I don't know if you do sell that sort of thing on Sewing Street.
We don't at the moment, but there's always some tissue left from the pattern when you cut it out,
yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
true,
So you could
yeah.
use some of that.
Or just a piece of A4 piece of paper, and then add the extra on there. There is some in the body piece as well.
Shall I show you that while you're sewing?
Yeah. Thank you.
Pinch your pattern. Because no matter what pattern you're using, and you wanted to make it longer or shorter, it could be a dress, it could be a shirt, it could be a pair of trousers, don't just add to the bottom. There'll be a specific point here which will say, if I have it the right way around, lengthen or shorten here. So if you're going to shorten, you will shorten by folding your pattern up that way. If you want to lengthen, like Clive says, cut the pattern, add the amount that you want to add lengthwise, and then just tape that in, and it'll lengthen the pattern from there. It could, because when you look at the shape of it is shaped on the waist. So if you just add, it's going to flare out too much. So that's why you get that specific line as to where you're going to lengthen or shorten. But you should be able to do that with most patterns, I think.
I was going to say, this armhole is shocking. Not my finest moment.
You've got 2 minutes to get it right.
2 minutes? Oh my goodness.
Oh, maximum I'm hearing 2 minutes. We're going way
maximum. Over. Oh gosh.
Oh, Glennie says it's a lovely demo. So good to follow you. Louise says, hi Debbie and Clive, enjoying the show as usual. I'm going to try to make 2 shirts.
Yes, do it.
Louise is in Dublin.
Right, let's just not look at the monstrosity that is this armhole. But so when the sleeve is put in, you need to then match it up. I'm just going to completely gloss over that. I'm not going to show you at all. And then we're going to sew up the sides. So if I just pin that there roughly, 2 minutes, sewers,
Well, a
2
minute
minutes.
now. Oh, no, 50 seconds.
Oh
now.
my goodness.
So the
I really wanted to show you, maybe I should have like put this together sooner before I came on air. Never mind. It's a learning curve.
It is. It's one of the most difficult things when you're prepping a show is to gauge how much time you've actually got.
Yeah, to know what you do.
To
like
sew,
to know
yeah.
what to do,
So
yeah.
don't worry about it. So you'll sew the sides of the
Sew up
shirt
the
and the sleeve,
sides.
and then the cuff goes on. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. So let's just pretend that that's sewn, shall we? So you're going to sew along here, and then down there, and with the cuff. So hard to like show. To put this on. Where's the other one? Oh, that's the one I want. When it's turned out, we're gonna basically pop. So you see the placket opening there.
Yeah.
We're gonna pop that on there, and then we're gonna sew 1.5 centimeters. I mean, you can just right next to this kind of cuff mark there, all the way around to the other end. Obviously, you've got that pleat put in as well.
Yeah.
For your cuff underneath, which I completely overskipped, but that will go in, and it does say to baste it on the pattern for the pleat, but I think it's really important not to baste it.
All right.
Because for whatever reason, if your sewing's gone a bit awry, you can always like just tweak it over a little bit, and then it'll fit in nice and neatly.
That's
there.
a good idea.
There you go.
We are out of
and
time.
that's what it looks like. Oh goodness.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It's a really lovely show, and thank you for all of your messages. We've had so many really lovely messages.
Oh, that's really kind. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, if you've got any questions about pattern sizes or anything else, get in touch with our call centre, or have a look on the website. All of the details of sizes are there now. We'll see you again at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
And we're going to be doing some dressmaking.
We are.
And coming up next, we've got the flower of the month. So I'll see you again in just a second.
If you'd like to get in touch with us during our live show and send in any messages or any questions, then you can do it on studio@sewingstreet.com. Alternatively, you can message us on our official Facebook page.
Hi, I'm Debbie Shaw from Sewing Street, and these are my 5 top tips for successful sewing. So, number 1, always use a good quality thread. A good quality thread will keep your seams stronger and also help to prevent lint building up inside your sewing machine. Tip number 2, if your project isn't going quite according to plan, put it down, walk away from it, come back again the next day, and you'll probably find that things don't seem half as bad as they did. My tip number 3, never throw away your sewing machine manual, always keep it to hand, because you're going to find hints and tips, techniques and troubleshooting in that manual. You'll miss it if you lose it. My tip number 4 is to read your pattern instructions before you even cut out your fabric. Different manufacturers of patterns will give you different instructions, different ways of constructing your garments and different seam allowances. So to have a successful garment, you need to follow the instructions precisely. And then tip number 5 is don't give up. Every professional sewer sewed their first seam. Every professional quilter quilted their first quilt. Every professional quilter sewed their first line of wonky stitches and had to get out the quick and pick. That's no different to you. So I hope you find these useful. If you want more hints and tips, then why not go to Sewing Street on channel 74 on Freeview, on Sky 670, and of course we have a YouTube channel where you can catch up on previous demonstrations. We'll see you soon.
We are so excited for the launch of Yarn Lane, a TV show dedicated to knitting, crochet and all things yarn. We'll be bringing you demonstrations from our expert guests, as well as all the latest tools and gadgets. Watch our launch show on Monday the 2nd of November at 12 p.m. on Freeview Channel 74, Sky Channel 670 or our YouTube channel, when Helen from Woolly Chic will be teaching you how to crochet. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Yarn Lane TV and subscribe to our email newsletter to keep up to date with what's coming up.
Hi, I'm Helen from Woolly Chic. I design knitting and crochet patterns, and I also teach crochet in Hitchin, Hertfordshire, where I live. My mum taught me to knit and crochet when I was a teenager, but it wasn't until my children were little that I picked up a crochet hook again and literally became hooked, and I haven't stopped crocheting and now knitting ever since. I began designing about 8 years ago and started selling my patterns as part of kits, putting together my designs with British wool, some of which comes from my family's sheep farmed in Pembrokeshire, Wales. I love the fact that with a simple fibre like wool, you can create something really beautiful and unique. Like garments or handmade accessories, cushions, blankets. Yeah, the possibilities are limitless. I'm also passionate about teaching crochet and passing on the skills that I have learnt. I'm really looking forward to being part of Yarn Lane TV and sharing some tips and tricks with you, and I really hope that you enjoy watching.
Hello, I'm Kerry from Living in Loveliness, and I'm delighted to be part of the Sewing Street team. I'm based in Wolverhampton and I absolutely love working with fabulous fabrics. In particular, I love working with fat quarters and showing you how to get the most from your scraps. I love bringing communities of sewists together and encouraging people to sew for greater causes. Most recently, we have been sewing for our NHS and key workers. I look forward to bringing you hints, tips and techniques. I'll see you soon.
If you'd like to get in touch with us during our live show and send in any messages or any questions, then you can do it on studio@sewingstreet.com. Alternatively, you can message us on our official Facebook page.
Hello there, welcome back again. Now, I was going to say in this hour, but it's not, is it? This 3/4 of an hour, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new panel. So this is the flower of the month. We do one of these every month for you. And there's been a few extra thrown in there as well. So this is November, and this is chrysanthemum. Now then, these are actually going to be dispatched within the next 2 weeks. So a lot of you have been pre-ordering this already. We'll get it to you as soon as we can. It'll be 2 weeks, absolute maximum. It may well be a lot sooner than that, but we're just covering ourselves really, to be honest. So for £9.99, there's a 12-inch panel, the 12-inch square, and then you have these 2.5-inch strips. And I've been making bags and cushion covers. I know a lot of you are collecting these, so maybe it's going to be a quilt that you'll make. I think May was the first one. So this time, next April, you're going to have 12 of these, plus the extra ones. So we did have a couple of Christmases and Halloweens for you as well. But yeah, bags and cushion covers. It could be a little small quilt, slap quilts. Maybe you just want the chrysanthemum, so you're going to go for 4 of those and make a wall hanging with them all the same. These are genuine flowers of the month as well. So if you have a birthday in November, then this is your flower. And that's the same for all of the flowers that we brought for you over the last few months as well. If you have a look on our website on sewingstreet.com, you will probably see all of the other months that we have available for you as well. So if you haven't got any of the previous ones and you want them, they should be there on the website. We've got Sue from Brisbane with us this morning. Hello around there. Brenda says it's 5 o'clock in the morning in Kentucky. So thanks for getting up early. I thought we had a couple of Australias. because we're multinational, you know, here on Sewing Street. We get all over the place. So yeah, come and let me know what you've been doing with your panels. And if you have any pictures, it'd be lovely to see those as well. A whole row in a pelmet would be nice, or a border on a tablecloth, or a table runner. Maybe I wouldn't use it just as it is there. I'd maybe cut that out and put it in the centre. We could do that. Cut it out and put it in the centre. But we're going to be doing a bit of trapunto. I did the little cushion behind with the, I was going to say pomegranate. It's a pumpkin. Deborah, get it right. Well, and I thought the effect was quite nice, so we're going to do it again with the chrysanthemum this time, just give it a bit of padding from the back. It is quite nice though, I think, if you're going to go for just one of the panels like this, to have coordinating fabrics. So we have put together a bundle for you, or a choice of, I should say, not a bundle, is it? It is a whole bundle of fabric, but we're selling them separately. That's confusing, isn't it? And these are all going to match. So should we do it that way? So I'm thinking I'd maybe have, see the pinks, the pink would be really nice, and I think that one goes best. So you could do, this is raspberry, maybe a border around the edge here, and then one of the strips, and you can just keep building this up until you've got something the size of a floor cushion. So that would be nice. Or if you're just making a quilt, you could have a 12-inch panel, and then maybe cut some squares and have some applique or patchwork it into the centre. So I've got my mind spinning a little bit now, because I'm thinking, should I do that instead? No, we'll do what we were planning. So I'm kind of going backwards here. So I think the raspberry goes really, really, out of all of the pinks, I think that goes really well. But if that's a little bit bold for you, we've got more of a rose pink. So it blends a little bit more, I think, than the raspberry one. So that's really soft. Actually, it makes the chrysanthemum really stand out, doesn't it? Or if you wanted to go for a few pinks, there's the peachy one. Are we calling that coral? Oh, that one's nice. These pinks just work really well together on their own, don't they? That's blush. That's a pretty one. Yes, that and raspberry. That works really well, doesn't it? So this is just, this doesn't have a special name, it's just pink. And then I suppose this one's going to be pale pink, isn't it? Light pink, that one. In fact, it looks almost white until you put it next to white. That's an off-white, so that's an ivory. Or grey goes well. That's silver grey. Same as the background colour on the labels, actually, that one. And then a couple of greens, so that picks up obviously on the leaves there. So that one is fern. And finally is the chartreuse. So they all go really well together, don't they? So again, if you want a reminder of those, or if you want anything different, have a look on the website on sewingstreet.com and you will find it there. Right, let's do something with this panel then. There's so much you can do, that's what I love about these. I would like to see your quilts though, if you started making them up with the panels from previous. So it's a rotary cutter. And I'm thinking I might make a bag with it, because I made a cushion cover last time. Right, so I'm cutting, oh, should I put a zip in the top of the bag? We could put a zip in there. Right, down here. Oh, I've got enough time, have I? Oh, that Clive, he ran over by 15 minutes. Isn't cutting that at a very good angle. So we shan't have a zip in the top. We might have a zip in. We'll see how I'll leave space. and then I'll see how we go. Right, so, oh, I needed a scrap piece of fabric, didn't I? A pale colour scrap fabric to go behind here would be absolutely perfect. Shall I just use I'm going to use the off-white here because I don't want it to show through the fabric. So let's just chop a bit off. Go back cutting into a new piece. Not that bad, to be honest. Not really bad. So I need to cut out a piece of fabric which is just a little bit bigger than the flower. And I will trim this back again as well. So, be about that big. Scissors and things like that you'll find on the website. There's a question on Facebook about rotary cutters and mats. I'd suggest if you're buying them for the first time, you go for a 45mm rotary cutter. I like Alpha. They should be on the website. The cutting mat, don't know what it's made out of. But they are self-healing, that's why you can cut through them. And I'd suggest you go for a ruler as well. So I can't remember who that was that posted it, but that was in the, there we go, in the previous hour. Right, my foot pedal's on its way to Coventry. And unplugged. And I'm just going to sew around the edge of the flower so I can see through that and make sure that the flower's covered by the oh, I've got a walking foot on there. There you go. And do you know what? Shall we change the thread? I'm just going to change the thread on the top to white because that's really going to, no, stand out. That'll stand out too much. So just bear with me. Glennis says she likes the dark green with the panel. I like the dark green and I like the bright pink, the raspberry pink. Go. So it's a Cat producer that put together that selection of fabrics for you, and she said she thought the green was a bit leafy. She said she likes to pick up on the non-obvious points of the panel. Right, so let me shorten that stitch a little bit. So I'm going down to 2.2, and I'm just literally sewing around the edge of the flower through both layers of fabric. I think if I was doing this at home I'd free motion it, but I just want one line around the edge. Maybe do it in pink. White's fine, white's fine. And I'd be a little bit more accurate, so I'd go around every one of those little wavy wibbly lines and have it really delicate and intricate. But you do what you like. Could just go round in a circle. It's going to have a nice effect though, this. Stop with the needle down as I'm turning. Actually, I'm going to miss out some of the very wobbly bits, else we'll be here all day. So needle down again when I'm turning around. That corner, and I'm just using the little 550 machine. This is the most affordable sewing machine that we have for, and it's a really nice little machine. It's quiet, it's compact, it's easy to use. It doesn't come with a walking foot, we just kind of borrowed this from another machine. So while I'm doing this then, what are you up to sewing wise? Have you got something that's a little bit of a challenge? Are you finishing off your UFOs? Oh, Kat's making a wedding quilt at the moment. So friend's getting married in Australia and she's making them a quilt. That's a lovely idea for a wedding present. So what's the most challenging thing you've ever made? What's the biggest thing you've ever made? So what kind of thing have you made that you never will finish because it just didn't work out? I've got a few of those actually. Sometimes they just don't work. I have some very strange looking animals around my sewing room from patterns that I've been trying to design that didn't quite work. So I have an elephant with a head that is so big it will never sit up. It's ridiculously big, but I can't throw them away because they're little characters, like pets, aren't they? Little characters then. I have a strange looking owl, which again, another thing that didn't quite work. In fact, it doesn't even look like an owl, but you know. Things don't go right first time, do they? I'm almost back there, so bear with me. And I'm just going to put a little bit of wadding behind this just to plump it up a little bit, and then I'm going to sew over it. Could have put a big sheet of that down actually before I started sewing and then trimmed it back, but I just thought I'd do it this way instead. No rules, are there? You do what you like. One more petal. Right, that'll do. So let's snip those threads off. And then I'm going to cut an oval in the back. So you can see, because I've got the darker colour in, oh, missed a bit, in the background there, you can see the outline of where I've sewn. And there we go. So I'm going to make a little hole in the back of it, but not all the way through to the front. That will do. And then we'll have a little bit of wadding. So I've just got some, is there something more? No. I've just got some polyester wadding, which I'm going to push into those little bits there. That'll be the petals. Oh, Brenda likes a bit of chartreuse. Oh, and she's making a Christmas dress for a Maddie doll. Oh, I can't wait to see. Is this a chartreuse Christmas dress? Love to see that. Robin's got to have one as well. Not a dress, but a Christmas outfit too. Right. Those are my two rag dolls, my patterns, by the way. Right, again, just pushing this into there, because what's happening now is it's getting all nice and plump on the front. So I'm not going to plump it too much because I am going to sew over this as well. So I'm just going to outline some of the petal shapes. Nothing but quite nice. And it gives it a little bit of dimension. So in you go. If you've got toy filler, would be quite nice, and you can really get that into all of the petals. So otherwise you can put a sheet of polyester wadding down and then sew through it, and then, oh, come here. Oh, that was very difficult to tear. And then trim it back afterwards, if you like, if you prefer that way. So, oh, Julie's making gingerbread man treat bags. See, traditionally, you would sew around the edge with water erasable thread and then quilt up to the erasable thread after you've padded the back and everything, and lots of tight quilting, so very small quilting all around here, and then give it a wash so that the water erasable thread disappears. But it's very time consuming. This is a lot quicker. And a similar kind of effect. Oh, this, by the way, Julie, this is a stiletto. It's a clover stiletto. Should be on the website. It has a really good pointy bit on one end, and then it's got a hoof on the other, and that's a silicone tip. So if you're ironing something and normally getting your fingers right in the way because you want to be close, then just use that tip. And it's very grippy. It's not slippy at all, and you can iron onto it. So it's great to protect your fingers. And also when you're trying to feed fabric underneath to feed dogs and you're frightened of getting your fingers a little bit too close to the needle, that works. Right. Oh, Alice and Marion is making one of my waterfall jackets, and is going to embellish it. Oh, can't wait to see that one, Alison. She's made it out of boiled wool. How lovely. Okay, so that's, oh, no, I want to get in there. Just really want to get into those petals and make them plump. That's better. So I've got a nice little fat flower there, as you can see. And I'm just going to sew some of the petals over the top now. So again, don't pad it too much that you can't sew over it. So I think we'll go down the petal, then we'll go around the centre. Just again, leave the needle down when you're going around circles, if you need to stop. So this will make the centre stand out as well. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. Alright, then I'm going to go down this petal. But I would, again, if I got more time at home, I'd be going around every single petal like this, because I really think it makes it stand out nicely. And I'll cut all my little threads off in between afterwards. Oh, that was quite thick. But it's looking pretty. Right, I shan't do all of them because I do quite fancy getting this zip in as well, to be honest. So I'll just miss a few here. And there. Oh, Heather sent a picture in. Do you want to have a look at that? Morning all, she says, just finished a tree sketch. Oh, that's nice. From my half-yard Christmas book. You've done, oh, that's lovely. I love those poinsettias, don't you? Love watching the show. Thank you very much. Paul thought it was a chocolate cake with the slice missing. That'll do. Again, if I was, I've had a little bit more time, I'd be going around every one of those petals and really making them stand out. So I do want to chop off all of those little threads, because that'll make it so much nicer. So Brenda likes the effect, thank you. So again, I'd go in between every one of those petals and then maybe even do a little bit of swirly business in the centre there as well. And you could do the same with the leaves as well. I'm going to put a zip in it and make a little zipped bag. Well, actually quite a big zip bag. So I'm going to have the back in my stripe. Got enough for a lining as well, but I think that's a bit of a shame because it leaves me some fabric to use elsewhere. So I'm just going to cut that down to the same size. I've got 20 minutes to zip it, apparently. Some people wish I'd zipped it a long time ago. And, oh, hi Lynn. Lynn's just finished her October flower of the month and made it into a bag. Send pictures in, Lynn. Love to see what you've been making. So just trimming that to make it square. And here. Oh, now was that Helen? Oh, Gillian, sorry. Gillian's asking if you can use different brands of sewing machine needles in your machine. Personally, I don't have a problem in using any brand of sewing machine needles on any sewing machine. Maybe worth having a look in your instruction manual, because I know certainly with the Elna overlockers, if you use a different type of needle, that invalidates the warranty. So undercover stitch machine as well, so just be careful with those. But personally, I do. Okay, then we'll leave it a little bit of H640. So we'll iron that onto the back to give it a bit of oomph. And then we'll have that lining in the off-white fabric. because they're already cut into it. I'd love to use the bright pink, but I'm going to use the off-white, so I'm not using up too much fabric. So here, hello Mary on YouTube, is that the first time you've joined us? Nice to have you on board. Oh, and she's enjoying the tutorial. Lovely, thank you. So, here every day from 8 till 1 at the moment. Is that the 5 hour? We're 5 hours tomorrow, aren't we? So we're increasing, and tomorrow we're launching a new channel. So I didn't get that name, sorry Kat. Jill, hi Jill. Jill's new to sewing. Oh, we'll soon have you hooked, Jill. And it is easy. Well, obviously there are some very complicated things that you can sew, but equally there are some very easy projects to get going with that can look so effective. Right, so I'm just trying to get this right in between those petals that I've padded. H640 is the fusible fleece. Normally you'd use steam on the back of that and give it a good old blast of steam and really make it stick. That wasn't a hint for water in the eye, and I was just saying. Let's trim that back a little bit. Zip's going in the top there. And I'll have another little bit of this on the back of it, so then it's a nice substantial bag. I'm not going to square the base on this one because I think it'll spoil the frame that goes around the centre. And let's have the white a bit at the top. I'll do it that way around. Hello Valerie. She loves watching the demos, and she says I'd always make something up on the spot. I never know what I'm going to do before I get into the studio. I'd rather wait till I see the fabric or I see the pattern. I think, oh, I could do that. So yes, very, very little planning goes into my demos, I'm afraid. If I'd have planned a bit further ahead, I would have put water in the iron. That will do. So just trim that down to size. Save all of your little bits of your wadding as well, because you can join those together. Right. Don't think we need that. Scissors are amazing. They do go through fabric like a hot knife through butter. Okay, let's do we're going to put a little tab on each side of that. On each end of the zip. I've got a zip, just bear with me a second, just let me check I've actually got a zip. I've got a zip. Just to make it a little bit neater on the top. So these are going to be way oversized, but I'll cut them down in a bit, simply because I find it easier to do that. So I'll cut the lining out in just a sec. My zip's going to be too long, so I'll cut that down to size. So we'll have that metal bit off the end to start with, and we'll have the zip to about the same length as that bit there. Not really important, but I think that would work. Oh, move that out of the way first. There. And then these bits are going to go each side of the zip, so the zip's sandwiched in between the two pieces. So one there, and so straight across the end. These are way too big, but I find it a lot easier to do that than have them cut to the exact size. It's easier to have them bigger than trim them down a bit. So you can sew straight over the zip if it's a nylon zip. And then I'll just finger press those down for now. So I've got a nice neat tab on the end of the zip. And same on this end. Whoops, dropped them. Heather's sewing teacher put her off. I don't really remember my sewing teacher at school. I know I didn't keep it up because I dropped sewing to do pottery. I thought I was a lot better at pottery. See where that got me in my career. But I did. I wanted to be a chef when I was at school, and I don't think the teacher liked me very much. You know when you just don't get on with the teacher. And she pointed me out in class one day. Deborah Bagshaw, she said, because that was my name. You said in your homework that you, to get rid of tea leaves, you put them down the sink. And I got a jolly good telling off because that's the last thing that you do. And I didn't put that in my homework. It wasn't me. And it really put me off. And that was it. I was no longer going to be a chef. I wasn't going to go to Buxton Catering College. It was just, that was it. I got told off for something I didn't do and it just spoiled it for me. But it happens, doesn't it? I hear that so often with sewing teachers because apparently they used to be really strict and people have been rapped on the back of the knuckles with a ruler for getting wonky seams and made to unpick things that were perfectly acceptable. And it does put you off, doesn't it? I don't think it's like that anymore at school. You're certainly not allowed to rap people over the knuckles with a ruler. Right, now the zip, so just explaining what I'm doing. I wouldn't make a very good teacher, Valerie, because I'm not explaining what I'm doing. I need the edge of the zip to be right sides together with the top of my bag. So flip that over. Right sides meaning the zip pull is facing upwards. Flip it over and put that down. And match up the edge of the zip, not the edge of these bits that are too big. And I'm just going to make sure that they are equidistant from each side and sew straight across. I'm not going to put the zipper foot on. I am going to move the needle across so I can sew a little bit closer. And ideally you need to be sewing straight down the centre of the zip tape. On a lot of zips it has like a different weave in a line straight down the centre. Let's just move that slider out of the way and carry on sewing. And again, I'm lining up the edge of the zip with the top of the bag and straight over that little tab on the end. Now I can trim this back. And I can chop the ends off as well. And then we'll put the opposite side of the zip to the opposite side of the bag. So let's do it this way. So again, just like before, I'm lining up the edge of the zip with the edge of the bag and making sure the edges of the bag are meeting, and then sew straight down that zip tape. And then we'll put a lining in here as well. We've got a bit of dressmaking coming up in the next hour. Clive's going to be back again. So we've got dress patterns and fabric bundles again. Let's do a bit of dressmaking. So that's that. And again, I can chop off the end of the tab. So I have that. Then we'll need 2 pieces of lining. That's not going to be quite enough, is it? So we'll have that in that ivory, sorry. And those need to be 2 12-inch squares. So I'll just use that as a template. Again, for accuracy, if I'm doing this at home, I'd use my rotary cutter and ruler and make sure that it's exactly 12 inches, so it's all the same size. That's that. And then the lining needs to go on the other side of the zip. So the way I like to do it is to line up the 2 edges and sew from the side that I've just sewn, so I can see where that stitch line is and I want to try and sew right over the top of it. So my zip's pointing downwards, so all I'm doing is sandwiching one side of the zip in between the outer bag and the lining. So as close as I can to sewing over that existing stitch line. So I'm just making note of where the slider is so I can move that out of the way again. So don't ever try to sew around them because you'll just get a wobbly stitch line. So lift the foot up, I'm going to fiddle around under here and move it. Extra high presser foot helps. If you just joined us, by the way, we will be uploading the videos onto YouTube later on today. So if you wanted to watch anything back, so in the previous hour we had Clive giving us hints and tips on fitting sleeves and cuffs to a men's shirt. So if you missed it, you can come back again. Just at the end of that was folded over. I'll show you that because I need to unpick it, but I haven't got an unpicker. The fabric was folded back, so it hasn't actually gone into the seam. So I'm going to just unpick this and sew it again. I think Kat's on a mission to find me an unpicker. I don't really know what they look like. Not. Is that? No, that's not an unpicker. We'll be all right with the scissors. Just might take a bit longer. Right. So just get up to, that'll do it. And then I'll sew back over that bit so I know that I've got the fabric trapped in the seam, because that always helps, doesn't it? To actually sew fabric and not fresh air. There we go. That should be it. It's better. Then I'll need the remaining piece of lining over the remaining zip. So again, fold all of this out of the way. So there's my zip sewn next to the outer fabric. There's the lining that goes over the top, and I'm going to sew again from the side where I can see the stitches. Straight over the same stitch line. And my slider's right down at this end, so I don't need to move it just yet. Where are you? There you are. So needle down, forage around, and we'll carry on sewing. Oh, that went a bit wobbly there. There we go. Okay, so then we have this. And I'm going to sew all the way around the zip. I'm just going to fold that so that it's... I left a bit of a white line on the top there, so I thought that would disappear into the side of the zip, so I wasn't eating into the pink bit. But I think I left that a little bit too big, but I'll neaten that as we sew around. So I'm going to start just at that side there. And that's it. So this is going to help to keep the lining and the outer fabric together. And make it look neater as well. Oh, I nearly sewed over a bit of fabric I didn't want to. So needle down straight over the edge of the zip. Needle down and back down the other side. Could have sewed a bit closer to the zip, but I've got the needle over in the left-hand position and I forgot, so doesn't matter. So again, I'm just pulling the fabric away from the zip. There's the pull, so let's have that out of the way. So literally sewing around in a box shape. Oh, we've had lots of pictures. Oh, I'd love to see what you've been making. Is that on Facebook or email? You've been emailing them in, lovely. I'll have a look as soon as I can. Right, let's snip this off here. And that's that. So I've now got that. So that's the front and the lining. So that's kept the seam nice around there. And then we're going to sew right sides together, these two pieces, and then the lining as well. Open the zip at this point because you need to turn it through, and we'll leave a turning gap in the bottom there. When you come up to the side pieces here, it's like an H shape. So that bit is going to be pushed in towards the lining. So let's go. Let's put that needle back in the right position. It's strange when you switch the machine off and it doesn't switch off. Right, so we'll just sew all the way around. I'm going to lengthen the stitch just a little bit as we... Oh, what are you doing? So my foot's emigrated again. Lengthen the stitch a little bit as you go over the fleeced side because it can drag a little bit and it makes your stitches that little bit shorter. And your machine sew a little bit slower. And then I'll shorten that again for the lining. Not that short though. And then across the bottom. Remember to leave a turning gap. So mine's going to be there. Just matching at those raw edges. I don't normally pin something like this. Oh, Brenda's saying about using the flower in a clock face. That would be a nice idea. Those square clock faces, that would work really well, wouldn't it? Oh, don't you hate it when that happens? Run out of bobbin thread. So while I'm just doing that, have a look at the picture that Lynn sent in. Oh, it's the October, oh, that's nice. Oh, beautifully quilted. The October flower of the month bag, that is so pretty. So the whole idea with the flower of the month, I think, was to make quilts, but it's so nice to see what other things you've been making with them and what kind of ideas that you've had. Because basically you've got a 12-inch square of fabric, there's so many things that you could make with it. Don't wind your bobbin up like this. Do it as is explained in your manufacturer's book. Right, we'll finish this. Well, Clive went over by 15 minutes. Oh yeah, that might mean overtime. That wouldn't go down very well, would it? Right, so across the bottom. Hadn't gone too far, thankfully. Then leave a turning gap. That's there. Bit of backwards and forwards to stop your stitches coming undone. Needle down in the corner. And back down this side. And remember, when you get to the seam where the zip is, to push it in towards the lining side. Like that. So again, take it a little bit slower as you're going over the zip. And you may have to increase the stitch length a bit to get some speed going on when you're sewing over the wadding like this. And we're almost done. So I shan't sew the hole open in the bottom just for now because I know we're almost out of time, but you get the idea. So we'll just snip off the corners to make that a little bit more pointy when it's turned through. And then let's see how we're going here. How to stop thread nesting underneath the material. Okay, Carol, when you start sewing, after using a thread cutter, thread cutters notoriously can encourage your fabric to go into the feed dogs. Basically, when you start sewing on the end, at the edge of your fabric, the feed dogs can actually bring the fabric down into the gap where the needle goes instead of pulling it through. So if you're not using a thread cutter, then hold on to the 2 threads and pull the fabric through gently as you start sewing, and that's a good habit to get into. If you're using a thread cutter, I'd suggest using a piece of tearaway stabilizer, and I put it under the back of the fabric and start sewing right on the edge of the seam. The teeth think that that's part of the fabric, so it just pulls it through really easily. It may sound like a little bit of a faff, but it works, and it's really quick, and it's a lot quicker than trying to untangle a nest. So that's what I do with a thread cutter. And the tearaway stabilizer, you can just pull it away from the seam when you're finished. So that can help. Or if you're doing a lot of it, why not get yourself a machine with a straight stitch plate? Because your fabric can't go, it's only got a tiny hole then, so your fabric can't actually go down into the machine. There you go, that needs a bit of a press. That's the zip at the top. So you've just got it covered in thread again. So all fully lined, nice and neat with the tabs at the top as well. And that could be a little pouch maybe for pyjamas, it could be for a gift. Do you know, I'm thinking hot water bottle cover. Not obviously not like this with a zip in the top, but that'd be nice for a hot water bottle cover. And you can't put a handle, you could put a handle on the sides, but a wristlet would be nice, so you just carry it around your wrist if you wanted to put some kind of handle on it. So there you go, that's another little idea for you. Are we up to date here? Going to make them into fabric photo albums for Christmas gifts. Caroline, that's a lovely idea. Hi, Margaret. I need to tidy up a little bit. So, coming up in the next hour is this. Isn't that fabulous? So this is made from stretch fabric. Actually, it's not, is it? It's made from cotton. It says stretch on the pattern, so you could use jersey for it. And Clive's going to be with us as well. He's going to give us some hints and tips on how to make that neckline, because that's the most complicated part of the whole dress, so that'll be interesting. So go and put the kettle on again, have another cup of coffee, and we'll see you again in a couple of minutes.
We are so excited for the launch of Yarn Lane, a TV show dedicated to knitting, crochet and all things yarn. We'll be bringing you demonstrations from our expert guests, as well as all the latest tools and gadgets. Watch our launch show on Monday the 2nd of November at 12 p.m. on Freeview Channel 74, Sky Channel 670 or our YouTube channel, when Helen from Woolly Chic will be teaching you how to crochet. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Yarn Lane TV and subscribe to our email newsletter to keep up to date with what's coming up.
Hi, I'm Debbie Shaw, and as a professional sewer, I really know how important it is to use a high quality thread. Well, you think about it. You spend a lot of money on your sewing machine, you'll spend a lot of money on fabric, and you'll spend a lot of time sewing. So why let your thread let you down? I know a lot of our designers and customers prefer to use Aurifil thread. Now this is a family business. It was established in 1983 and they're based just outside Milan in Italy. They produce superior quality threads for domestic and professional sewers alike, and they've achieved worldwide success with quilters, sewers, embroiderers and textile artists who all appreciate the versatility and the strength of these threads. It's all made from Egyptian cotton, which is grown just at the side of the River Nile, and Aurifil only use the long staple threads, which gives their thread that strength. Each one of these threads goes through 15 steps before it even gets onto a spool and then comes to you to use in your sewing projects. Now at Sewing Street, we've collaborated with Aurifil and we've brought you 2 collections of threads. So we have the Quilters collection, and these are exclusive to Sewing Street. We've done a lot of research with quilters, and these are the colours that you prefer to use. So we put a whole collection together for you. The second collection is the Essential collection. So this is for the homemakers, for the bag makers, for the craft sewers, for the dressmakers. And again, these have been proven to be the most popular colours that you're going to use. So if you want your projects to last longer and your seams to be stronger, invest in some quality thread.
Hi, I'm Helen from Woolly Chic. I design knitting and crochet patterns, and I also teach crochet in Hitchin, Hertfordshire, where I live. My mum taught me to knit and crochet when I was a teenager, but it wasn't until my children were little that I picked up a crochet hook again and literally became hooked. And I haven't stopped crocheting and now knitting ever since. I began designing about 8 years ago and started selling my patterns as part of kits, putting together my designs with British wool, some of which comes from my family's sheep farmed in Pembrokeshire, Wales. I love the fact that with a simple fibre like wool, you can create something really beautiful and unique, like garments or handmade accessories, cushions, blankets. Yeah, the possibilities are limitless. I'm also passionate about teaching crochet and passing on the skills that I have learnt. I'm really looking forward to being part of Yarn Lane TV and sharing some tips and tricks with you, and I really hope that you enjoy watching.
Hello, I'm Kerry from Living in Loveliness, and I'm delighted to be part of the Sewing Street team. I'm based in Wolverhampton and I absolutely love working with fabulous fabrics. In particular, I love working with fat quarters and showing you how to get the most from your scraps. I love bringing communities of sewists together and encouraging people to sew for greater causes. Most recently, we have been sewing for our NHS and key workers. I look forward to bringing you hints, tips and techniques. I'll see you soon.
If you'd like to get in touch with us during our live show and send in any messages or any questions, then you can do it on studio@sewingstreet.com. Alternatively, you can message us on our official Facebook page.
Hello there, welcome back again. I've got a bit of dressmaking in this show. Caroline, same thing. It's because it's the edge of your fabric that's at the hole that throws the thread into the machine. So if your fabric doesn't disappear down there, when you start right on the edge, your thread will go down in there. So same thing to stop it coming through. Okay, we have a brand new dress pattern for you and some new fabrics as well. Love the style of this. I just think it's going to be so comfy, more than just the dress as well. So you'll be able to make this. You'll also be able to make it into a top with shorter sleeves if you wish, and there are 2 lengths of trousers in the pattern as well for just £9.99. I like a multi-purpose pattern, so you can make lots of outfits from it. So I would suggest that you trace off your patterns, because of course you've got lots of different sizes in these as well. So you can either go for the size 6 to 14, which is that one, I think, yeah, or you can go for 16 to 24. So let me just give you the measurements on those, because don't go by your dress size, okay? You go by your measurements. So on the size 6, your bust size is 30.5, and that goes up, was it 6 to 14? And on the size 14, that's a 36. So 36-inch bust. So you can see there, normally on a size 12 would be 30. Go by your measurements anyway, don't go by your dress size. Then if you wanted to go for the larger size, that's between size 16, which is a 38-inch on the bust, up to a size 24, which is 46 inches on the bust. So those are your 2 sizes. If you missed that, have a look on the website, and there should be a picture of those sizes so you can take another look. And just take notice of the bust size. Don't worry about waist and hips and things like that. Just go by your bust size. So those are the patterns. And then we've got some fabrics for you too. So we've put together 3-metre bundle. So this is as much as you would need for the largest size. So the most amount of fabric that you're going to need. And this is gorgeous. It's a viscose, it's soft, it's drapey, it's cool, and it's just really comfortable. It's a really lovely fabric to wear. So it's perfect for layering. This is the kind of thing that you can maybe wear a t-shirt underneath. Certainly with the short sleeves, you can wear a long sleeve top underneath it, and that's perfect. But that viscose is a lovely fabric if you're at that time of life and you just want to keep cool. And of course it's breathable as well. It's a semi-synthetic fabric. This one's brand new for you today. And again, we've put together 3 metres for you. For your £41.39. Again, it's viscose, but it's very smooth, very cool, lovely drape, and it's nice modern fabric, isn't it? Nice and fresh. And actually, if you're a first-time sewer, go for a pattern. You find it's a lot more forgiving than a plain fabric. But that's lovely, I do like that. Or do you fancy a bit of sunshine? So this is the fabric that the dress sample Clive made in, and again, it's so cool and soft and got a beautiful drape. 3 metres there for your £41.39, and all of these will be 140 centimetres wide. And that's what it's going to look like. Now again, anything else that you need, if you wanted extra elastic and bits and bobs, you need those for the sleeves on this one, or you want to have a look at the other fabric choices, then have a look on sewingstreet.com. But Clive's with us again. Welcome back again.
Hello.
This hour won't go so quickly, promise.
Yes. Yeah, it's mad dash last one, wasn't it?
Well, we did chat a lot.
It's good though. I'm calm now. It's all good.
Good.
I'm relaxed into it, I
You
think.
had so many messages after the last hour.
Famous last words. No, I had a look in the last hour.
Did you?
Thank you everybody for messaging in. I really do appreciate it.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's very warming to the heart,
Oh.
isn't it? So this is the new fabric that you've just said.
It's lovely, isn't it?
And what we're going to start with is we're going to gather this is the front piece, and we're going to gather the top bit up here with a double line of stitching.
Okay.
I'm going to get straight into it.
You're going to finish early now. You won't know what to do.
I'm going to finish. No, I'm going to finish this. No, I'm not going to finish this. So, if on the machine, when you're basting, it's probably best to go for a stitch length 4 or above. It's fine. This is marked also. I don't know if you can see there that I've just put a little dot there. Sorry, it's just had to move the camera.
He's on his way.
I don't know if you can see, but that is on the pattern. That's just where you're going to start and stop, really. But that's within the... So you're going to base within the seam allowance. So we're not going to see... So I go right to the edge of the fabric. Now, when I tried this at home, you might want to put a bit of a walking foot on this, which I believe is the contraption at the back, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, I've never actually used that on our machine at home, and I'm not going to try now, but it will slightly gather itself already, so that it's kind of does it for us, I suppose. Okay. So we're just going to put 2 rows of stitching all the way along the top.
Just going to give you a little bit of warning about stock levels on the larger size, the 16 to 24, half of the stock is sold out already.
And what we're going to do at the end, we're not going to cut it or anything like that. We're just going to take it out because we need that thread to then gather it. As you can see, it's already kind of gathered there slightly. So to do the second row, I would just kind of pull that out a little bit, just so it's even.
Okay.
Like I say, the walking foot would probably not do that. But like I said, I haven't used it on this machine yet. That is something that I want to try. Because to be honest, I didn't actually know it was there built in.
Really?
Because I don't use Mark's machine much. Yeah, like I say, I've just not had time to kind of play with it properly. Because it's always nice when you get a new machine, isn't it, that you have a bit of a play.
Oh, there's probably about 300 stitches on my machine I've never touched.
Looking at this, it's just awash with decorative stitching. I mean, we'll go on to this later, but on the collar on this dress, you could actually put some decorative stitching on the collar.
Nice.
So we're just going to do that second row.
You can, of course, by gathering feet or even gather on your overlocker, but you can't gauge the exact amount it's going to gather like you can when you hand pull it.
Yeah,
can you?
yeah. And I will gather this to a certain point, but when you're putting on the neckband, that's when you can kind of tweak it so it's kind of firmly in. Also, if you wanted to, if you knew the measurement and you wanted to, you could turn your stitch length down to about 2.4 and then stay stitch it in place so it doesn't, you know, become loose. Just pull that out.
Emma says you look fabulous, Clive.
Oh, thank you very much, Emma. That's very kind. This is the shirt that was in the other show. So now we just take the top. I'm going to stand up to do this bit. Take the top 2 threads there, and we're going to pull. You just got to be really careful with gathering though, because if you break the thread, then you'll have to do it all over again. So just take your time, take it easy. As you can see, that's gathering up very nicely. Just do it from the other side as well, just so we're nice and even.
I find it quite relaxing gathering.
I do
like
actually.
That.
It's quite satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's to see it just all kind of nice, and who knew that you could do this? I mean, this is something that I learnt to do a long time ago. But you always look at clothes and you think, how do they do that?
Yeah.
And this is how you do it. There might be other ways that other people know as well. And if there is, get in touch and let us know. We're always kind of learning, aren't we, as sewers?
There's always something to learn.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
normally it's those things, you think, well, why didn't I do that before? Why
Yeah. Sometimes you can save yourself so much time, can't
Yeah.
you? Right, so that piece is done. I'm just going to put that to one side, this side, over there, and I'm going to do the back now. So exactly the same on the back, making sure that you're marking your points where you need to stop. Usually it's kind of, with this dress anyway, it's 1.5 centimetres from the edge of the armhole, part of the armhole I should say.
What I like about the design of this as well, a lot of the time with dress patterns, they're designed for a B cup, and most of us aren't. So there's going to be some kind of full or small bust adjustments, which can be really daunting. You're not going to need to on this, are you? Because of the fit?
No, it's literally over the head.
Yeah.
It's a really comfy dress. I mean, if you wanted to, you could cinch it in at the waist with a belt.
I was thinking that when I was looking at it.
Wear some leggings. You could even make it in not too much of a thicker fabric because it would lose its drape, but yeah.
So you've got no darts, you've got no zip.
No darts, no zip. It's music to my ears.
It's quite 1970s. I was saying to Kat
it
earlier
is,
on.
isn't it?
Particularly with the shorter sleeves, because the shorter ones aren't elasticated. And I can remember having one of these in corduroy with big pockets on the front, and you'd wear it with a roll neck, what do we call them? Skinny rib jumpers.
Like a turtleneck
like
kind
a,
of, yeah.
a roll neck with long sleeves.
Lovely.
Underneath.
Yeah, it's quite 70s, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, with the really flowery kind of, like the fabric you've got there, that would look really cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, that way around. So we're just going to go down the back of that second, and you want to leave. I mean, I've got just like a normal kind of foot on here, but you want to leave about 3 or 4 mil in between, just so it will gather nicely. And then you can do some motorway sewing.
I like a bit of motorway sewing. Oh yes, put your foot down, off you go.
It's nice, isn't it? I guess with quilting, there's a lot of motorway sewing going on, which I've yet to experience. Well, kind of have experience, but I've got to finish that project. As I say, we're not cutting the threads because we want them nice and loose. We can cut those afterwards, after we've gathered it. And again, the top 2 threads, or the bottom 2, I don't think it really matters. And pull that through.
I like the way the pattern has more to it than just this one dress as well.
Yes,
So
yeah.
you have got the top, but remember we've got trousers on here as well.
The trousers are kind of palazzo kind
Yeah.
of trousers, aren't they? They're
Yeah.
quite baggy from the picture anyway on the pattern.
They've just got an elasticated waist, so again, you haven't got
Yeah,
a
really
fly zip to
easy,
put in, or
really comfortable.
yeah, yeah.
It's a really comfortable kind of outfit, isn't it?
Or
Really.
a lockdown outfit.
Yeah, but with a little bit of class.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We don't want it too comfortable. Although I heard like a lot of, you know, the online retailers have been selling like tracksuits and, you know, comfy clothing for lockdown. You don't have to wear a tracksuit. You can be a little bit more inventive and
Yeah.
make something like this.
You
We
might
actu-
have an unexpected Zoom call or something.
During the lockdown, we watched the Sewing Bee, and for the first episode, me and Mark got dressed up.
Did you?
Yeah, and it was just us two on our own. And I walked into town all dressed to the nines to go because we had a takeaway that night because I wasn't cooking. And people were giving me really weird looks because I was obviously dressed up and nobody was going anywhere. I'm like, it's okay, we're at home, we're watching the Sewing Bee, just the two of us. So yeah, that was quite fun. But also really weird with the looks and everything. Anyway, right.
Oh, Carol said that she had a black shorter version. There is a shorter version on the pattern, Carol, with blue embroidery on the yoke at the front. So you could do that if you've got an embroidery machine, or some trim would look nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you could sandwich when you're putting the collar piece on. You could sandwich a bit of trim around the edge, a bit of lace, maybe.
That'd be nice.
It's quite a versatile dress, really. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just sew up the side seams really quick. Just get a couple of pins to secure that. Another bit of motorway sewing.
Christian says she's really enjoying the shows today, and she's happy to see we've both got chairs.
Yeah, I've got a chair. Controversially, I've got a chair.
It's the only thing I asked for in the new studio was, can we please sit down and sew? So instead of having a table, you get a high stool.
Yeah, which is perfect, really. We, yeah, standing up sewing isn't for me.
It's good for the thighs, or the thigh, the one thigh.
What, for your pedal foot?
For the pedal foot, because you kind of have to hover over it.
So I'm just quickly shoving a few pins in there. I mean, you don't have to be too precious because it's a straight line.
Okay.
And of course, before you would have started cutting this out, you would have notched it. 2 notches for the back. That they usually on the armhole. Look, there's one there and one there. 2 notches for the back, 1 for the front. So hopefully you won't have to refer back to the pattern at any point, unless you really need to, of course. Ooh. Keep picking up a sewing, like a hand sewing needle. I should just bring those over here, shouldn't I? That would be better. So so your corded dress, did you actually make it yourself?
No, I didn't. I bought it from Chelsea Girl.
Chelsea Girl? Is that a London?
No, it was right at the start of when fashion stores started opening. There was Richard Shops and Chelsea Girl. What were the other ones? It was before Primark. The C&A was around then.
Oh yeah.
Miss Selfridge. But it was one of those. When I was very little, there weren't very many clothes shops, and then all of a sudden, you would turn teenager, and your eyes are open to fashion stores.
Yeah. I didn't really find my fashion roots until I went to university, actually.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's a lot of other people that are very self-expressive, and you know, I was quite safe, I suppose. This is safe. Right, let's just quickly sew those up.
I had no dress sense whatsoever when I was younger.
No.
I can remember going to a school disco for the very first time, wearing my PE kit because I thought it was the most fashionable thing I owned.
Ah.
Yeah. I was wearing long socks and everybody else was wearing tights. And,
Well, that's the thing now, isn't it? Long socks.
Is it?
Yeah, you would have been in fashion now. I mean, personally, I don't. It's short trousers. Well, some of the styles of the men is short trousers with white socks and trainers, but I can't get away with that. I'm too
Can
old.
anybody get away with that?
Well, people do. They do look good, to be fair.
Okay.
So we're just going to go forward and back stitch. Oh, I need to change my length, which I forgot. Let's just go back on that. Make sure we've locked that in.
Why did you say in the seam? Was it Julia that wanted to see the back of the packet? Jessica, sorry. There you go. There's the back of the packet. Was it a particular measurement you wanted, or did you just want to see the different styles that you can create? So if it's measurements, it might be easier to see on the website. But this gives you there's lots of information on the back of a packet, so always read this before you actually open it up. So on the flap you'll see the finished sizes, and then as you come down, that is the amount of fabric that you need for all of the different styles, and then you'll see the outline of all of the different styles you can make. So this is the one that Clive's making up. That's the shorter sleeve version. That's like the one I own in the 70s. An even shorter one, and then you've got 2 different lengths of the trousers as well, which would make very nice pyjamas actually too. So I hope that helps. If you need any more information, then just message back and let me know. $20.95 in the States, this one. There you go. The 16 to 24, we are very limited now, so if you wanted to order that one, please go through, check out your baskets or phone as soon as you can, so you don't miss out on that.
Was it nearly sold out, is it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, heading that way.
So
what a nice calming morning, and you've got a nice voice. And now, I think she's on, is it Irene? Irene's on her 11 o'clock coffee, not her 11th coffee.
I was going to say, wow, you're going to be wired. I know some days for relaxing, you don't need 11 cups of coffee.
No.
Although I felt like I did this morning.
Well, I'm on the decaf, so I'm allowed.
Right, let's hammer that through. Sometimes you just have to find your mojo, don't you?
We've got just under half an hour.
Right, okay.
Loads of time. We've got a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance on this one.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry, yeah. Oops, so that's just walked a little bit there. It's because I'm going too fast.
It's quite forgiving, though, isn't it? The style. If you're not spot on 5/8 of an inch, you're not going to notice.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, this is the beauty of this sort of thing. You can, I mean, the size. This is just a slip over the headdress, so the size is very good.
Yeah.
But even if you wanted to take it in at this point, you could do, especially down the sides. Just backstitch that. There we go, done. Right, I'm not going to bother opening the seams, but what you would normally do is press the seams open on that one, and you can finish them off either by overlocker or pinkages.
Okay.
So
if you're overlocking, sorry Clive, would you overlock both seams together?
Yeah, because
both
of the
fabrics together.
because of the nature of the fabric. I think if you overlocked both, I mean, on the inside when you do press it, it might look a little bit too much. But you could just, well, it's up to you really. It just depends on what you're going to make it out of, I should say. Let me just turn that the other way around. Okay, so that's that piece done. Let's just put that to one side a second. Now, let's go on to the collar. Okay. Now with this collar, you need to be, when you're sewing it together, you need to be really careful because the pattern pieces are they look the same, but they are slightly different. Because if you see, can they get the camera on the dress or not?
Yeah, we've got a picture of it.
Yeah.
Does that help?
So on the, it's kind of like they go out to a diagonal, don't they, almost?
Yes, it's not a right-angled
Yeah,
angle,
so
is it?
The fronts and the backs, let me just see if you can see with these pattern pieces here. If I just pop that there and there, you just have to take extra care. Sorry, this. So, yeah, they're slightly, if you can see there, they're slightly wider.
Oh, right.
Yeah, than they are at the front and the back. The front and the back are the same. And then this comes down to, it's ever so slight, but I think it's really important to make sure that you're piecing it together correctly.
Okay.
So if you notice here, I've just written on my pieces, front, back. This is when I put it together. So you've got to take special care in putting it together because you don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
Because the wider piece of the side, the shoulder pieces, sorry, are towards the back. So they're going to go. So they're going to go kind of back here.
Okay.
If that makes sense. I just wanted to point that out because when I was putting that together, I spent quite a while trying to piece it all together. I've already done the front piece, so I'm just going to sew together the back pieces. Just unpin
So,
those.
Alan, yes, we do men's sewing patterns. If you have a look back at 9 o'clock this morning, Clive has sewn the shirt that he's wearing at the moment. And morning, Pedro.
Good morning. People only just getting up. So as you can see here also I've written on with a washable pen which Sewing Street do sell. I have been informed. So that's the back piece. Oh, there we go. Doing it the wrong way around, if you can see that. So what I do is I've kind of put it all written out and then I place it out on my whatever your work surface is,
Okay.
just so you're not going to get confused.
What's your favourite fabric to sew with?
My favourite fabric? Ooh. I like quite structural fabric. So a nice denim. I mean, this was lovely to sew with. It really was. I like a wool as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just pinning those together, and I'm going to pin them all in place so we don't get confused. Because the trouble is, if you just kind of did one seam and then you came back to it and you're like, oh God, and if you hadn't have written on the pieces, you're going to lose track of where you are. So just pin it all together to start with.
You could make this out of that denim, couldn't you?
This, definitely. Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Is there any of this fabric left?
There is.
Oh, there you go. Should have had that bundle as well in here.
And the bundle we put together is a 3-metre bundle, so it's the right size for the larger size of the dress as well.
Yeah.
No, Brenda in Kentucky. I
Kentucky?
asked her what time it was in Kentucky, and she says it was 5. She got her times wrong. They put the clocks back.
5 a.m.
At the back, so it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I know.
That's dedication.
That's a loyal fan. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. Hi, Brenda in Kentucky. I've only ever been to the States once, actually.
Oh dear, where did you go?
I went to Los Angeles.
Oh, I've never been there.
It was fun.
Was that?
Yeah. My friend got married on Malibu Beach. It was very nice. Right, so that's all pinned together, so we're not going to lose track of where we are. Perfect. Now with this, we need to make sure, we need to pay, we need to pay special attention to the dots. I haven't dotted these just because I've made it up already, but when you're marking out the pieces, if you just make sure on the actual fabric pieces that you're marking them out, because they allow you to kind of go within the seam allowance and they're pivotal points of when you're constructing this garment together. It just makes sure it's nice and mited when you're finished.
Yeah.
Right.
And to be honest, this dress is all about the neckline, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So it's important to get it right and take your time. And we've got Lynette in South Africa with us. Hi, Lynette.
Ah, hello.
She's had marvellous rain during the night, so she's enjoying the programme. And, sorry, thanks. Oh, thanks, guys, she said. Not a problem. Nadine's messaged in as well. Morning. And oh, she sent us a picture as well.
Oh, really?
First time she's messaged in, and she sent this picture. So this first time I've ever ordered the dress pattern, which looks lovely. Just made a simple maxi dress with 220 inches of gathering using the same method. Oh, I bet you got achy fingers. So easy to do to get the right fit. Loving the demos. They've got me into sewing again after about a 10-year gap. Oh, your poor old sewing machine, Nadine. But thanks for messaging in, and keep them coming. Love seeing your pictures.
Well, there's people like all over the world watch this show. I had no idea. I really didn't.
Oh yeah, but we're international. You
I've
know.
gone global. Okay. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves. I'm just sewing these together. Ooh.
Oh, I think it was Lynette that was saying on my Facebook Live last week, oh, how hot was it in South Africa? It was unbearable, wasn't it? So this is why she's saying it's a nice wet Gauteng. So it rains here, we don't think it's nice.
I would try and attempt to say vodem. I think that's warm in South Afrikaans. I think so. I hope I just didn't swear in Afrikaans. Please tell me I didn't swear in Afrikaans. That would be terrible. So we make sure you backstitch on these points as well, because we need to strengthen those points.
Were the instructions quite easy to follow on this one as well?
Yeah. The collar, obviously, I said, you know, before, just pay good attention to what you're doing, because you really don't want to go wrong on putting the fronts and the backs, or to put into like a back on the front, because it's quite easily done. So just make sure you label them out, or pin them to say, you know, 2 pins for a back, 1 pin for a front, just so you're not getting confused. And also at the sides on the, sorry, let me just show you on this piece, they do say back and front. So there's the front and there's the back.
Right, so just double check that when
just make sure that you're kind of putting them in the right place, really. But like I said before, a little tip: if you just put a B or an F on it, it would just be easier when you put it together.
Oh, that was it. Lynette said it was 30 degrees plus for 2 weeks non-stop.
Oh my goodness.
And no, you didn't swear.
Oh, good. Thank goodness for that. Phew. Is that the correct term, did she say on that?
No, she just said you didn't swear.
Oh, okay, that's good. I don't want to offend anyone watching.
The poor director can say thank you in Arabic, apparently.
Oh, really?
And hurry up.
I'm not even going to attempt to try and say thank you in. Oh, apart from maybe French. Merci beaucoup. I don't know any of the languages. Do you speak a language?
Broken French. But no, that's about it. My youngest lad has been teaching himself Japanese.
Oh, really? Wow.
And it was really nice, actually. We went out for a Japanese meal a few weeks ago, and he said there was a message on the thing that the chopsticks come in.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, oh, that translates as thank you for eating here, or something like that.
Ah.
And then when the waiter came over, my husband said to him, what does that translate as? And he says, oh, good appetite, or something. And so I said, no, I've got that right. So we asked another waitress to come over, and she actually came over and said, you are absolutely right. He can't actually speak Japanese. And I'm so glad she did that, because I haven't got a clue. But yeah, he got it right. I was really pleased.
Wow, that's quite a mean feat. Japanese is quite hard, isn't it? As a language.
He's blooming well doing it. He's been learning for about 6 months.
What, university or?
No, just in his room, just online.
Is that on lockdown?
Yeah, it's not been working too much, so yeah.
Ah.
It did try to learn Spanish and Arabic at the same time, but I think that was a bit too much.
Bit too much. What we like for time, okay. So once you've done those, we need to press these open.
Sorry, I just heard in my ear, why are you using the big iron?
Why am I using the big iron?
Yeah, and I'm
Why
thinking,
don't Why don't you tell that story, Debbie?
It might be something to do with the fact that I left the little iron face down on the carpet. Oh, yeah, I'll buy a new iron. I'm not buying a new carpet though. I'll put a mat down.
What's the new? It's the new spot for where we're supposed to stand, isn't it?
That's what I was thinking.
You were just helping us out, weren't you, Debbie?
Ruined it. Mind you, somebody said, I can't remember who you were, sorry, about using a paracetamol tablet to clean the bottom of the iron.
What?
Oh, was it? Oh, that was Kat. Was it you?
No way. Does that actually work?
Yeah, one of the big tablets, and apparently do you wet it? One of the powdery tablets. You don't wet it, you just rub it on there and it cleans it up.
Wow, who knew?
Would it work on melted carpet, do you think?
If the camera could come this side, it is a bit of a mess, so.
I was just trying to think who I can blame for this, you know.
It wasn't me, thankfully. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. I'm not claiming responsibility. Right. We'll just put that to one side a sec. So let me just get where I am. See, this is why this bit's important. So the front and the back, let's get it the right way around. And then I'm going to check this piece as well, because we're going to pop these together now. So that's the front and the back. And we're going to pin. I'm going to try and do this as quick as I can so I can get this finished, at least.
15 minutes we've got.
Ah.
Got loads of time.
So also with this collar, while I'm pinning, you could do a decorative stitch all the way around, like we said before, on the, probably the interface piece would be better. Or when it's together and you've turned it out, that would be when you would do it.
Right.
So you've got enough layers there, because sometimes the decorative stitches can be quite thick, can't they?
Yes.
So, am I doing that in the right place? I was showing all of the positions this morning. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go.
It is difficult though, just to explain. If you're doing something like this and you're demonstrating for the first time, when you've got cameras in different positions, and no matter how much you're asked, you know, can you hold this here? It's difficult, particularly when you're actually working, because you'd hold it here normally.
Yeah.
And you know, don't bend over too far because we're going to see the top of your head. So I think you're doing a brilliant job.
I do want to see that. It's either, oh dear. I see I didn't wear those this time round. Oh well. You can see my not badly, my wonky mohawk. Is it a bit wonky? I don't know. Can you see that?
There you go.
There it is. Don't bend over too much. There we go. Oh, got a shiny forehead as well. I've just seen.
Yeah, when we get a makeup department, we'll be powdered down in between shows.
That'd be good. Maybe I should wear. No, I'm not going to wear makeup. That wouldn't be a good look. Right. So that's all pinned together. Pop that back down there so it's out of the way.
Not
on the carpet. So there's no rule to thumb. I found it if I just started on the we're obviously sewing on the inside now. Oh, do you know what I've done? That's what I've done. I've put the pins on the wrong way around.
Oh.
Never mind. Because I just want to make sure that I've got it on that 1.5 cm seam allowance line. And you can just start there. There's no, I mean, in the instructions it does say it's kind of make sure you start at that point. But what I want to do is make sure that we're getting to those points and actually strengthening them. So
Okay.
I'm going to start just to the side. I am going to back stitch it. There we go. I mean, it doesn't matter too much that you put the pins around the wrong way, they're just holding it together anyway.
So would you normally pin from the right hand side so you can
Yeah.
pull them out as you go?
Yeah. So, so we want to make sure that these seams here are caught in as well. And when we get to that point, we're going to pivot. Is that quite there? There it is. So we're just going to lift up the foot with the needle in and pivot around.
The larger size of the dress has now sold out.
Oh, wow.
So the smaller size is between 6 and 14, which is 30.5 inches on the bust, up to 36 inches on the bust. Do you know, I think if maybe you're a 38, I'd go for it anyway, because it's not fitted around the bust. And pretty much when dress sizes get bigger, the neckline and the shoulders stay the same. It's normally the bust area, from the bust down that gets bigger. But because this is such a loose fit, I think you'll be fine with it.
I think so too. I don't think that's majorly important on this pattern.
No.
It's a really, relaxing dress. Anyone could wear it really. I did actually try the sample on.
Oh, pictures?
No. just to kind of like, as in gauging what a size 18 would be. So the one on the mannequin is an 18, and it fitted me. So, I mean, I probably could have done with making the armholes a bit bigger, but obviously, So we're just coming up to that last one, that last line.
Margaret's asking if we can explain what was it, Chalice is?
Chalice?
Chalice fabric, C-H-A-S-S-I-S, L-I-S. Do you know? I don't know what fabric Chalice is.
Do you know, I'm not 100% sure either.
No. Oh, I could Google it, couldn't I? Let's have a look. A lightweight soft clothing fabric made from silk or worsted. There you go. That was a quick one. Margaret Cat Googled it for you.
There's so many different different types of fabrics out there, isn't it? It's impossible to know what every type of fabric is. Thankfully, in this day and age, we do have Google. Information is power. And if you've done that correctly, you should be able to line that up with where I first started, which I have. Celebration, yay.
I was just thinking, I bet if you measured the neckline on the different sizes, they're the same. I think it's going to be, like you said, the underarm and the fullness of the body that gets bigger with that, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, the underarm would be bigger, yeah. So what we're going to do now is turn that right sides out. Where's my little...
I think you've got a confession you need to make, Clive. Okay?
Have I?
Yeah, because Lucy says, do you remember trying on your cousin's dress at her birthday party?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so that's not the first time Clive's
why did you have to bring that up? Why? So, it was I'm just going to have to tell the story now, aren't I?
Yeah.
So
how old were you to start with?
Oh God, probably 24.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
I think. It was my auntie's renewal of her vows. Or no, it was a special anniversary. I can't remember which one it was now. She's going to have to remind me. But it was the renewal of her vows, and it was a medieval theme. So obviously all the women were dressed up in medieval kind of, you know, dresses, and I had like this frilly shirt on and eye makeup and everything. And we got very, very drunk, and my cousin and I thought it would be a good idea to swap outfits. There is photographic evidence out there somewhere.
Lucy, I think you'd. I don't think it'd go down too well if you put a picture up.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that. Thanks. Sorry, I'll just explain what I'm doing now. She's very naughty.
Change the subject very quickly.
Yeah, she's very naughty. My giddy aunt. So I'm in the seam allowance towards the facing. I was doing it the other way around then. I was going to say something else. Just had to stop myself. So we can understitch that seam down, and that just allows the seam to be nicely finished. And also, if you're doing it from this way around, it's a lot easier, not like how I was doing it.
We've got 4 minutes left.
Oh, blimey. Where does the hour go? I want to know who's stealing all the time. I think I need a couple of hours. It's to be fair though, once this dress is cut out, it's quite an easy one to kind of put up in a couple of hours, 2-3 hours, and you should have it together. So we're just going to make sure that those are that way round. My head's not in the way, is it?
No, you're fine.
And again, sorry, I know I'm licking my fingers. That's disgusting.
No, I do that. Nobody else is going to be wearing it.
Just for the purposes of today, I'm not going to understitch because it's going to take some time to do that. But what you would do is you would understitch along here. It just makes the neckline a lot crisper when it's finished. So just for the purposes of today, I'm not going to do that. And you don't have to actually, like, you know, if you were going to do the decorative stitch on top, then that would hold it in place also. So let me just show you that corner there. And you should have a corner like that.
That's satisfying as well, isn't it?
It really,
Yeah.
it really is. When you get that angle, it's just really, really nice. It's quite fiddly to get it in sometimes.
You could top stitch, I
Yeah,
suppose,
you
couldn't
could. You could top stitch. I was just about to say that. You could actually top stitch if you wanted to. Should we top stitch it down? Yeah.
No, we ain't got time.
No time. No time to top stitch. Okay. Hurry up, Clive. Do you know, I prepped a sleeve as well to do, and I'm definitely not going to have time to do that, am I? This is a learning curve, though, of like how much time you've got to sample stuff, so it's a good experience.
Julie's asking what understitching is.
Understitch. So we would understitch. Let me just explain that a little bit better because I didn't really explain it very well, did I? So if we could top stitch, so we could top stitch that down, just down there. Or understitching is if we iron the seam allowance towards the facing and then lay it flat on the machine. Do you know, we'll just demo it because, you know, I think if people are asking what it is, then I've not made it clear enough. Let me just pop that out. So I'm just going to do one side, just for the purpose of demonstration. And we're going to sew quite close to the edge as well. And obviously you would continue this line all the way around as we only have minutes to spare, then just get that out of the way. So if you could zoom in on that for us. So that is understitching. It's basically top stitching, isn't it?
Yeah, but just on the inside. So you don't see any stitches on the outside,
No.
but it helps to keep everything flat on the inside.
So when, obviously we're going to turn that out and press it. That's obviously going to be on the inside. And if you were to top stitch, obviously you're going to see it on both sides.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah,
that explain it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
thank you.
okay. Right. Let me just press this bit and we'll try and get it on 5 minutes.
I haven't even got 5 minutes.
I haven't even got 5 minutes. Okay. How long have I got?
2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes. So with the front and the back, that's the back. Let me just have a quick look on there. Where's that back gone? See, this is why it's important to write front and back. How we're going to put the collar on, or the neckband even, is we're going to pin. What you would do as well, which I haven't done, is you would base that down.
Okay.
So you're going to have a lot of, so it's going to be more secure. So you're not going to have lots of fabric flapping around. So now you see, I've obviously gathered that too much, but you can just pull it out, make sure it's nice and even. And then we're going to sew that together. And then you do the same on the other side on the front. And then that's the neckband pretty much done.
Okay.
I mean, you can skip the basting if you want to. I think as and when you're working, it just makes it easier when you're pinning together. Let's see. Don't put pins in your mouth. Sorry,
You're not at home now,
I
you know.
know. That was really bad. I said to myself, I'm not going to put pins in the mouth. Don't put your pins in the mouth. Don't do what I just did. That's really bad. I got told a horrible story actually once, but that's for another time.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not good. Shouldn't do it. We shouldn't do it as sewers, but I bet we all do it. Ooh.
I put pins on the front of whatever I'm wearing sometimes when I'm sewing, and then forget they're there.
Yeah, no, I do
Nip
that
out
as
to
well.
the supermarket and people just think you've lost your poppy.
Yeah. And we're just going to sew that together.
Now we've got details on the screen for the fabric that Clive's working with at the moment. I do like this fabric.
It's lovely. It's nice to work with.
Yeah, 3 meters of this, and it's really nice and floaty and lightweight and cool. So it's going to be so comfortable to wear. But I say lightweight, but it's not see-through. But I think
No,
a
it's not,
lightweight fabric's nice because you get that drape then, don't you, around the neckline?
Yeah, once it's hanging from the neckline, it does look, as you can see on the sample that I made, it does look really good.
Yeah. Remember, you've got different styles as well. The neckline's the same on all of the different options of the top, but there are different sleeve lengths, and you can make a shorter version. And I suppose if you want to do, you can make a longer version. So because I'm thinking if you tied a belt around it, you might want more length because it'd blouse quite a lot.
So
it looks really good. I love that fabric.
I'll see what I've done now.
What?
The in-stitch on the wrong side. Anyway.
It's a design feature.
Design feature. Stitching. It's like top stitching. So that is basically what it's going to be like.
We're out of time, Clive.
We're out of time. Ah.
I know, we need to sew some more days for the week.
Yeah.
But you've explained the most difficult bit, which is the neckline, so thank you very much for that.
You're very welcome.
I've had a really lovely morning.
Yes, and me. Thank you for having me. It's been really fun.
So next time you're here, we'll be live for 5 hours a day. So I reckon we should book you for 5 hours.
5 hours. Yeah, okay. Why not?
So we'll see you again on the 28th.
Yes, 28th.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching.
Right, we've got, well, not a lot of time, so let's have a look what's coming up tomorrow. So at 8 o'clock in the morning, we have Autumn Fabrics. At 9 o'clock, Bella, Bobby and Betty Bunny. And Delphine's in the building. They're back in stock. It's all about the demo at 10 o'clock in the morning. And at 11 o'clock, we've got Rescued and Loved range. Well, that sounds interesting, with Delphine. And at 12 o'clock noon, we are launching our brand new channel, which is Yarn Lane. So we're going to be doing a bit of knitting and crochet at 12 o'clock tomorrow. I'm going to see you again. I'm not in Sunday next week. I should be in next Monday on the 9th. So we'll pretend it's Sunday morning and still have the 2 metre distancing from household appliance rules and all that kind of thing, and a bit of nonsense going on. Don't forget to check out your baskets if there's anything that you're ordering. We do have another hour of sewing coming up in just a second. That'll be a repeat from one of the shows we brought you yesterday. So do stay with us. I hope you've enjoyed your morning. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I shall see you again bright and early on Monday morning. Bye-bye.